Yo, we made it. We made it, baby. 82 games. We made it to the end of the season, man. I can't thank you guys enough for your support, man, as we, build this new venture and we expand and start doing our thing, man. It really means a lot to me, everybody who supported me this entire season, especially with a team like the Pelicans. I know I'm a little late, so I'm hoping you guys got the notification and see that we are indeed going live for the final game of the season. I wouldn't have missed it. It don't look like I even got the notification, so I might have to send a couple out myself. 504, what's the deal, big dog? How you doing, bro? Oh, there go the notification. Okay, there it go. There it go. Whoa, what's the deal, 504? We in here. Last game, JK. You know we have to tap in. Look, we might not even do the whole game. We going to go over this Bobby Marks video. King Sam, what's happening with you, King Sam? We're going to go over this Bobby Marks video as well to kind of get a feel and idea of some of the options available for the Pelicans this offseason. You say didn't know we was playing, fam. Oh, yeah, bro. I didn't know when the game was. Jaden, what's the deal, bro? I was like, damn, I hope they ain't push this game to like Tuesday or no shit like that. I'm like, I'm trying to get the foolishness over. Like, let's get it over with. You know what I'm saying? Because tomorrow is hopefully Borrego's last day. We got them exit interviews coming out now. Joe Dumars is slick. Nola Ant, what's happening, Warded? What's happening with your homie? Now, look, Joe Dumars is slick. Joe Dumars is slick. And this is why I say Joe is slick, right? This is why I say Joe slick. You know what, King Sam? I wanted to talk about that low post video as well. So we might go through low post's video, and we might also go through Bobby Marks' video. I wanted to talk about the low post video as well. So I might check it out and maybe in a separate episode and see exactly what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? I don't follow low post too much. I don't mean in a disrespectful way. I don't really follow it too much. So I don't know exactly what he was saying, but I'm always curious to see what the outside perspective is. Blackest Nerd, what's happening with your homie? I'm chilling, you know what I'm saying? We here for this last game. Again, we may or may not do the whole game, you understand? Lee Sanford, what's the deal, bro? Look, it's over. We made it to the end of the season. I ain't gonna lie, boy. A lot of people thought we was gonna give up like the Pelicans. They thought we was gonna quit, but we kept pushing, dog. We made it to the end of the season. My dog, what's the deal? Louisiana Gale, whoa, what's happening, homie? What's happening with you? We made it to the end of the season, yo. We did it. We did. It's a damn shame our season ending again in April. But hey, what can you do? H Bizzle, what's happening, homie? We did it. We made it. We got one. Doggone, about time. You know what's crazy? The Doc Rivers thing is just so insane, bro. Cause y'all let Doc Rivers backdoor. Y'all let Doc Rivers backdoor Adrian Griffin. And Adrian Griffin was chilling. He had the team with a cool record. Now, some people felt like Adrian was a little bit in over his head, but he was winning. He was winning. That's ultimately what matters, right? And he got backdoored. Hasn't really been rumored to get another coaching job since then. Also, y'all know who else was rumored that year to get that coaching job? Whoa, Sko, what's happening with your homie? You know who else was rumored to get the coaching job that year? James Borrego. James Borrego interviewed for that Milwaukee Bucks job, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully they spin the block. They can bring James in and let him run the tank over there. And maybe that'll be like his parting gift to the Pelicans. Like he go over there with them. What your boy say on Don't Be a Menace? Well, take your ass to them, let them fuck your head up. Like hopefully he go over there and help that Pelicans get that #1 pick. That's what I'm hoping happens. That shit with Giannis was messy though, son. That shit with Giannis is crazy, son. Because like you got all type of investigations. You got both of those teams. Well, the team officially is saying like, yo, he was never cleared to play, right? He's saying I could play. I can play. You know what I'm saying? Louisiana Gal said, I would like to clarify my Kevin Ollie statement from earlier. He is deep into his real estate business, but I was told he would put that on pause or hand it over to someone else if he got the Pels job. Now, I would be interested to see, because I read the Mike Scotto, I should have had that queued up. I read the Mike Scotto thing earlier. Matter of fact, let's do this. Hold up real quick. I'm acting like I'm not on a computer and I can't just pull this shit up. Let me pull up the Mike Scotto article so we can just read it together, y'all. Let me pull up the Mike Scotto article so we can read it together. While you're in here, man, hit the like button for me, please. Hit the like button for me, please. So we gonna let me see. He put out a new article today. See if I can find it. See if I can find it here. Make sure my Wi-Fi not tripping. I don't, sometimes I be having grub Wi-Fi. My shit don't work. But Chunk say, "Hello, boy. Whoa, what up with you, Chunk?" That Scotto article sounds like a bunch of regurgitating the info we put into these lives. You know what's funny too, Louisiana gal? The Scotto article, when he says I like Mike Scotto. I like Mike Scotto. But see, this is where things get funny, right? Now, Schmidt feeds a lot of information. Schmidt feeds a lot of information to Hoops Hype, right? But remember, Mike Scotto also was one of the people that said that the Pelicans were interested in Ja Morant. Whoa, what's happening with you, homie? What's happening with you? Remember, Mike Scotto was one of the people that also said the Pelicans were interested in Ja Morant. So, it's funny, not us, but like some of the people who actually cover the Pelicans, they kind of pick and choose when to believe Scotto. You feel me? And I did see he mentioned the Pelicans potentially bringing in another assistant GM. They need an assistant GM and probably an actual GM, to be honest. They need to really just go ahead and expand that motherfucking joint. They need to go ahead and expand that front office. Say Grub got the commodity government cheese food, man. Oh yeah, he got that Kabooms Wi-Fi. He was on Gilligan's Island or something. All right, so can y'all see this? I don't know what's up with all these ads and shit, because I haven't been Googling any of this stuff. But what up with you, Jana? Let me see. Don, what's happening with your homie? Say, after parting ways with the this is Scotto speaking about James Borrego, aka Jimmy the Bum. He say, after parting ways with former head coach Willie Green after a 2-10 start to the season, New Orleans Pelicans interim coach has gone 24-45. Motherfucker couldn't even go 27-50. 24-45 since heading into Sunday's season finale. That's a very interesting way to frame that sentence, but we gonna go. Borrego will be a candidate to retain his job moving forward, but others are expected to be in the mix, including Darvin Ham and Kevin Ollie, league sources told Hoops Hype. So basically no new information. In addition, league sources say that the current Orlando Magic coach, James Mosley, has several admirers in New Orleans. Should Mosley not be retained by Orlando after this season, it also looks like Orlando is about to be in the play-in. So, and also, I got a special guest coming to the show, man. We gonna cover the play-in game with Orlando. We gonna cover that game specifically because Jamal Mosley could be our new coach. That's why we gonna cover that game. But it says he would be towards the top of the coaching candidate list. So basically, they just repeating like Louisiana gal said. Basically, everything we saying here, because we've been talking about Jamal Mosley since 2025, y'all. We've been talking about Jamal Mosley coming to the Pelicans since 2025. You know what I'm saying? That's why this is the best Pelican show. Man. We went the whole season. We walked that time down on a level 4 yard. We did it. Say, it's worth noting that Pelicans general manager Troy Weaver was seen chatting with Ham ahead of the Bucks versus Pelicans game on February 20th. Now, keep in mind, Troy is not the GM, quote unquote. He's the senior vice president. So that's something to keep an eye on, right? As a player, Ham was also with Pelicans executive vice president of basketball operations, Joe Dumars, for 2 years in Detroit, which included winning the championship in 2004 and reaching the finals in 2025. Okay, sound like some Monty Williams, Willie Green shit there. Speaking of Detroit, Ollie was heavily in the mix for Detroit's head coaching vacancy when the team hired Monty Williams. Ollie interviewed for the job while Weaver was the franchise's lead executive. In fact, Ollie's relationship with Weaver extends beyond basketball. He's like a father to me, etc., etc. Well, what up with you, Jess? How you doing? Say, in addition, the Pelicans are exploring the possibility of expanding their front office with an addition of another assistant general manager, along with the other possible changes to the current staff, league sources told. So here's what I was told. Right? Here's what I was told. Now, we already know that like Troy and Joe Dumars, they don't trust a lot of people in that building because there's a lot of carryover from the David Griffin regime. That, and the reason there's so much carryover is because, again, they hired, they were hired a little late in the season. And also, hold up, Bobby Marks. They were hired a little late into the season. And, they just didn't have the carte blanche to just totally go ahead and do away with some of the people that were already executives in that building. That's why you see like thinking, Troy right now, hiring his son. That's why you see Troy and like Joe Dumars' son is also in that facility with the organization, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Noah doing this thing in Noah's doing this thing in Atlanta. So we're gonna go through this Bobby Marks video. He's gonna pretty much outline some of the things that we can look forward to this offseason. Some of the things we can look forward to this offseason as we look at the standings. Ooh, boy. Okay. This is going to be a very interesting first round. I'm covering the Celtics, y'all. I will be covering the Celtics. The Hawks playing? Do the Hawks play tonight or the Hawks season already over? Hawks season already over? Let's see. Do the Hawks play tonight? Nope. Hawks season already over. So you got Cleveland versus Toronto. Shout out to basketball. Brock, what's the deal, homie? Residuals, what's happening? They said we need a part 2 of the collaboration. We might go ahead and get that. You got Cleveland versus Toronto. You got the Knicks versus the Hawks. It's gonna be an interesting first round. So let's listen to Bobby Marks, man, and we're gonna go ahead and see what the homie talking about.
Happy Sunday out there. Happy Masters Day for everyone who loves golf. And happy day 174.
Hit the like button while y'all in here, man. Hit the like button.
NBA fans out there, we have hit the last day of the regular season. We're going to continue doing these off-season videos. We're going to do the Pelicans. They're team number 7. You can go on and find their off-season article on ESPN.com, and we'll continue adding teams once the play-in starts. This upcoming week. What do we make about the New Orleans Pelicans? 21-61 a year ago. We all know about the draft pick as far as trading the most favorable of their own or Milwaukee to get Derek Queen, who they picked, and certainly had some really nice moments this year. They have no first. They have a late second, which
Whoa, what up, Trey Town? What's the deal?
Is a Detroit second. As of Sunday, there's a 5-game improvement from a year ago, 26 wins. It's the 4th fewest in franchise history. And they have a big decision as far as what to do at head coach. Willie Green was let go after a record of 2-10, replaced by James Borrego on the interim. I think when you're evaluating New Orleans, you're looking at probably 2 halves. You're looking at maybe even 3 halves. You're looking at the first half where you go 8-27. That's as of January 1st, and then you go 16-28 to finish out the year. There was a stretch in March where this New Orleans team had a top 10 record among teams. As soon as I complimented them, they wound up losing 9.
Oh, nah, Jess, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Lakers are going to play Houston, if I'm not mistaken. I think the Lakers are going to play Houston, and it's going to be the Nuggets versus the Wolves.
Of 10. That's usually how things work when I am positive about teams. So don't let me be positive about your team or bad things are going to happen. I think the biggest thing there's a couple things as far as what Joe Dumars has to figure out here. The first thing is who's coaching this roster? Is it James Borrego? And I think he has made a compelling case to go out and do so. Or is
based on what, Bobby? Bobby, what are you basing that on? Bobby, what are you basing that on? I need to see who Bobby's agent is. Because what's the compelling case for James Borrego to continue to coach the team? What are you basing that on?
Hiring
based on vibes.
The outside. Joe's track record, we haven't seen it. Was in the league office recently, was in Detroit, of course. Last coaching hire he made was Lawrence Frank. And that was, I believe, 16 years ago. Lawrence was there 2 years. And now Joe has one of probably the more important decisions that he's going to make as the lead person in New Orleans. My biggest concern with this roster is that
Yo, hold up. We got 54 people in the building, and we only got 21 likes. Can we take a second and hit the like button? Whoa, what's happening with your most hated? What's happening with your homie? Yo, we got 54 people watching. We got 21 likes. Let's hit the like button. Let's take a second and hit the like button while Bobby rapping.
Group where you have Murray, James went small a bunch, certainly towards the post All-Star break. You had Murray, Zion at the center, Bay, Murphy, and Jones. And they were plus almost plus 11 points per 100 possessions.
But how many games did they win, Bobby?
A little bit of a smaller body of work.
How many games did they win, Bobby?
You've got a 5-game improvement from
Q,
from
what's the deal,
ago.
homie?
Is that enough? What you saw from those 5 guys, is that enough to stick with that core group? Certainly getting out of the gates hurt this year when you had you basically gave Jeremiah Fears the the ball, and I think they were like 10-30 when Fears started at point guard for the first chunk of games here. My other concern too is,
yeah, Chung, you know what? And shout out to Bobby Marks, because I am a fan of what Bobby Marks does. But if we keeping it a cool dollar, Bobby Marks, just like a lot of national people, just don't watch the Pelicans. Whoa, what's happening with you, Slim South? What's happening with you? They just don't watch the Pelicans. Oh, Bobby is CAA as look. That's why I say who agent is Bobby with? Bobby is CAA as well, so that explains that.
Regarding Zion, and Zion plays the third time in 6 years that he's played, I think, more than 60 games. He reaches all these different incentives. His contract is going to become guaranteed next year.
Borrego got a hell of a PR team,
this roster that we've seen, or is there more to this group than 26 wins? And can you trust this group moving forward based on health? I mean, we know about the injury history of Murray, and he's come back, and then certainly Zion.
Well, what's that with Jazilla and Don Guillory? That's a good point. That Zion did fire CAA. My dog says Zion doesn't need to be a part of no core. Fears, Trey, Queen, Bay, Misi. I wouldn't mind just blowing the whole team up.
And then you've got Bay. Sadiq Bay was terrific this year, but he had an ACL a couple years ago, and Bay's extension eligible, and I would certainly look at locking up him. I'm not saying 4 for 93, but I think it's worth extending him and not letting him become, because if he has another year this year where he's averaging 17, 18 points, he's going to outprice what the market could be when he becomes a free agent in 2000.
4 for 93 is incredibly expensive. I was thinking less than 4 for 80. Did y'all hear that potential contract extension? I was thinking less than 4 for 80. 4 for 93, Jesus.
2027. So you have to look at what your core pieces are, and what is the upside of keeping those core pieces together. And of course, it takes 2 to tango when you're going out and making a trade. But whoever the coach is, whether it be Borrego or Joe hires somebody else, they are going to have a really important say as far as how this roster,
shout out to Paperboy,
is added to in the past, or added to in the future, or subtracted.
Yeah, shout out to H Bizzle. H Bizzle say the same national people lobbying for Borrego said Willie Green was a good coach. So I don't take what they say serious. Yeah, you had like Stephen A. Smith, like, yeah, what Willie Green has those boys doing down there in New Orleans is phenomenal. I think he's a great coach, and he's getting dealt a bad rap because Zion can't stay on the court. That's what I think. And it's like, Stephen A. Smith, you do not watch the Pelicans. Like, let's just, why nigga can't just keep it real? You don't watch the Pelicans, and it's all right. It's all right. That's why we here. But it's all good. Jay Burke, what's happening with your homie?
And as far as what is kind of their identity, because as I said, you went from 21 to 26, and Zion plays over 60 games this year. Are you just relying on Fears and Queen taking a huge step, and then keep your fingers crossed that it's healthy? And that might be a little bit of fool's gold. You've got a couple free agents, nothing of craziness here. You've got
also, I was doing some research yesterday as it pertains to that Jordan Hawkins extension for $7 million. That contract, I Googled it, right? That contract is infinitely more valuable to the Pelicans as a trade chip than it would be for them via free agency, because if I'm not mistaken, they would like barely, if they would even have access to their full non-tax MLE, it would be by the skin of their teeth. Because right now they're going into the offseason below the luxury tax by, a pretty decent amount. Got 2 roster spots open, but they gotta turn those expiring contracts into real players. They gotta turn some of them contracts into real players. They just have to.
DeAndre Jordan, Kevon Looney, he's got an $8 million team option. Carlo Mankovic has a $2.3 million team option, and your 3 players on 2 ways are all restricted.
Squallow, what's happening?
Financially, I would think that Looney option gets declined because you're $4.8 million below the tax. You're $5.8 million under the first apron. Why the small difference? Because you have unlikely bonuses that count towards that here.
Right.
You've got a couple of, and based on what happens with that option, will determine.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Non-tax ML. Do you have? Can you use those two trade exceptions, which are 13.5 and 4.5? You use them. You hard cap yourself at the first apron. So that's something that. That's something that we will keep an eye on here.
But the Pelicans, look, if David Griffin didn't have permission for the Pelicans to be an apron team, I don't necessarily think Joe Dumars would have it at this juncture. So, I do think they set themselves up to have avenues to improve the team without really crippling, their future salary cap. Because when you look at some of the distressed assets that they could potentially go after, let's say Ja Morant, let's say not Sengun, Sabonis, for example, those guys are still on short-term deals. So even if you gave Zion, let's say a 2-3 year extension, most of those guys would be expiring around the same time, and you could just clear your books. And by then, by then Fears would be, in my opinion, should be fully blossomed into being the star player that I believe he's going to be. We got 53 people in the building. Take a second, hit the like button. Louisiana Gal said Joe does have permission, but only if they have a winning team. Now, to me, that's been my perspective as well as it pertains to the luxury tax. Like, people will say, well, Gal never paid the tax. And it's like, well, Zion's always been hurt. And Brandon's always been hurt. So it's like, why would I pay the tax for a team that's always fucked up? Chunk say need a Celtics assistant coach. That would be probably Sam Cassell, right? Or Chris Quinn. Chris Quinn is with the Miami Heat. Miami Heat is in the play-in again. I think Chris Quinn needs to go look for some greener pastures, personally. Michael Steen, shout out to Michael Steen, said, with no picks in the draft this year, can the Pels still pick up any undrafted players? Yeah, absolutely they can. The Pelicans, that's why you have the 2-way contracts. I don't believe Hunter Dickinson will be back. I don't really believe Trey Alexander will be back. You got guys you can probably potentially make some deals for. The guys, most people know that the Pelicans tend to do right by their 2-way guys. Historically, the Pelicans have signed, I think, did Najee go undrafted, or was Najee a second round guy? I think Najee went undrafted, if I'm not mistaken. Jose went undrafted. So that's 2 guys that the Pelicans picked up that found their way into real rotational minutes with NBA teams. Bryce McGowan's just got a standard contract via the 2-way. But I think Bryce McGowan's is more of a veteran. But he's another guy who got a standard contract. Carlo, of course, second round guy, ended up sticking around. Also, Najee went undrafted. Okay, just wanted to be sure. The residual says she ain't paying. She acting like she earned that money herself. Hey, we don't. I'm about to say the wrong thing, but we don't know what Gail was getting up to. Gail's talented. Most my dogs say David Griffin actually had a roster that if you added a few pieces worthy of an apron team, this current team is trash. See, what David Griffin messed up at is his cheap labor players, be it the rookies, never really gave you that help you needed. Far as again, Kyra Lewis. Couldn't really play. Jax was out of the rotation. Null, didn't work out earlier. Dyson was very good defensively, but the offense never really came along here in New Orleans. So, a mitigated disaster. Say, interior decorating failed, turn gold digger. Hey. It don't matter how or when you get the money sometime. She ended up getting it. Shout out to Rita, man. I wonder what Rita up to these days. Yeah, Boston assistant would be good. I would like Sam Cassell just because all the assistants seem to be good. Jana say these boys finna be tired. Let me see. Chunk say coaches suck. Yeah, the current roster, look, I know this season was terrible. No way around it. no way around this season being terrible, but there are a lot of avenues for this team to improve, especially having so much expiring salary. Again, Jordan Hawkins and Jordan Poole, ain't that some shit? Jordan Hawkins and Jordan Poole combined for $41 million in expiring salary. Would you rather have that contract, or would you rather have Christian Bond on the roster making like 20-something million dollars for the next 5 years? I'd rather have them two making that expired money that I can move and take on a quote-unquote negative contract. Paperboy 504 say Poole and Hawk works for Michael Porter Jr. out there in Brooklyn. That would be interesting. DeJounte for Jalen Green in Phoenix. I would be a little surprised if they moved Jalen Green for DeJounte. DeJounte did have a pretty good game versus Phoenix this year. The thing with Jalen, much like Zion, Jalen got them hamstrings, dog. Jalen got them fucking hamstrings, and that's crazy. Oh, I see. Like, even shout out to my dog. Like with the Brandon Ingram extension, one thing to keep in mind too with Bi's extension, he in Toronto, and Toronto tax is crazy. Like the taxes in Toronto is crazy. Brandon needed every penny of that 40. Now that I know how they taxes are, you should have gave him 50. Yeah, they taxes out there are ridiculous. Like Maryland's taxes are ridiculous as well. Let me see. Squallow say paid the salaries for 2 head coaches. Yeah, that's another thing. You know, Gail Griff came out the gate just with bad deals, bro. Came out the gate with bad deals. Again, you fire Stan Van Gundy. You're covering his contract for the next 4 years, including his staff, i.e. Casey Hill. Then you bring in Willie Green. You're covering his, like, it's ridiculous. It was ridiculous, bro. Jack and Margello, what's happening? You said Jalen Green is awful. Okay. Corey, what's happening, homie? Corey, what's happening with you, bro? Yo, everybody in the building. We got 74 people in the building. Take a second, hit the like button. We about to wrap up Bobby Marks' video. Hit the like button for me, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you haven't already.
But, you know, listen, there's a lot of work to do. It's funny. When you look at what the roster is, some nights you're thinking this team could be at worst a play-in next year, maybe
exactly
compete for a top 6 team, and then you look at some other games and it's like, you know, this team needs to be broken up and everything, and that's why the front office gets paid the big bucks to figure out what to do with this group. But I would listen.
What would you do?
I would be surprised.
What would you do
if this thing stays intact? I really would. I just think that
okay.
Knowing that you've had this body of work, watching what they were able to do last year, and I know last year was kind of an injury-riddled season here, but I do think change is probably coming for the New Orleans Pelicans. You certainly need, you want small.
What the fuck? He just said I wouldn't be surprised if this thing stays intact, but I do think Bobby, which one is it? Is it Uchiwali or one Mike?
A lot this year, and your rebounding suffered, and you've got Missy and Fears and Queen. Zion played a lot of 5, 28th this season in defensive rebounding percentage, allowed the 3rd most points. You've got all your picks moving forward. You will owe the least favorable of your own end, Milwaukee, that's top 4 protected, to Atlanta. So that is kind of a synopsis on the New Orleans.
All right. I ain't gonna hold you. I kind of feel like Bobby mailed this one in. Yeah, shout out to Trey Town. When he said Zion played a ton of 5, I'm like, all right, Bobby. Again, Bobby does not watch the Pelicans. Stephen A. Smith does not watch the Pelicans. Like, they just don't. The only people watch the Pelicans this season is probably Atlanta Hawks fans and Milwaukee Bucks fans and us. That's it. It's those 3 groups. Bree, what's happening with your Bree? Residual will say he sounded like me when the teacher asked me some shit I didn't study for. Oh yeah. It just, man, come on. 504 said, man, Atlanta got Old Navy fleece out of Joe. You know what's funny? So when we take a look at the Tankathon, we're going to take a look at the Tankathon right now and see where things currently stand. Let's roll the dice. So the Jazz win the Tankathon. Memphis get the number 2 pick. Brooklyn, I wouldn't hate this. I don't want Memphis getting the number 2 pick, but I wouldn't hate this. Yeah, Bobby D. Yeah, I agree. Bobby could have kept this one in the chain, but Bobby was uninspired. He didn't even have like the salary cap board up. To me, this right here, this scenario right here would be incredibly ideal for the Pelicans. This is what I'm hoping for. Something along these lines would be incredibly ideal for the Pelicans. Let's take a look at the game. Pelicans only down 10 right now. Kings actually beating the Trailblazers. So, yo, we got 78 people in the building. Look like we got 41 likes, if I'm not mistaken. Take a second, hit the like button. We're going to go through the box score and see who's been doing what in the first quarter. And we're going to get into a couple. Nola and Memphis in the East now, huh? Nah, they still in the West. They still in the West. Yeah, Bree, only down 10. Nah, they still in the West right now. I think that expansion won't happen to next year. I kind of hope that they go ahead and accelerate that expansion personally. Let's see here. So looking at everything, Micah Peavy starting, Jordan Hawkins letting that motherfucker fly. Jordan Hawkins 2 for 9, Jeremiah Fields 1 for 6, Derek Queen 2 for 5. So, okay. So looking at the roster, as we go through the roster, we're gonna go to Spot Track as well. Looking at the roster here, I don't see a couple of these guys back. I don't see DeAndre Jordan back unless he's in an official coaching capacity. Kevon Looney, I think Kevon Looney is out of here. Bam. What your boy Steele said? Bam. Kick. You're out of there. I think he's gone. Gonna decline his option potentially. Jordan Poole, I think they're gonna look to dangle Jordan Poole. I wouldn't be shocked if he returned, but I think they're gonna look to dangle Jordan Poole with that $34 million expiring. Then you could attach him with Jordan Hawkins with his $7 million. Again, that's about 41 mil expiring. God damn, them boys eating good. About 41 million expiring. You got teams like, again, the Memphis Grizzlies. You got teams like the Kings that are in critical salary cap position right now. They're in a really bad spot that are gonna need to clear their books sooner than later. 504 Bobby said, let's get this throwaway out early. Yeah, he just went ahead and mailed that motherfucker in. Daniel Blunt, what's happening with your homie? Say, Chaz, what's good, fam? But if you're the GM of the team, what are your ideal moves? I'm glad you asked that, brother. Okay, so if I'm the GM of the team, this is my philosophy here. I gotta find an avenue to fill my point guard position relatively cheap or my center position relatively cheap. By relatively cheap, I mean, let's say if you go into this offseason and you just sign someone like let's go to free agents real quick. Let's say you go into this offseason and you brought back, this is hypothetical, you brought back like a veteran rotational point guard. Let's say you brought in Tyus Jones, hypothetically speaking, as your backup point guard. This is hypothetical, right? And let's say you had, what's homie? Let's say you had Jeremiah Fields starting. It's totally hypothetical, right? And then you say, I got Fields starting as point guard. I'm gonna bring in Tyus Jones. He's gonna play some backup one, and we're gonna draft somebody. We're gonna bring in another veteran guard, what have you. Let's say Cole Anthony or what have you, right? These guys are gonna come cheap. These guys are not gonna get big contracts. That's why I'm mentioning them as potential free agents, right? So if you want to address shooting, which is a desperate need for the Pelicans, a guy I would go get is Fontecchio. The reason I would go after Fontecchio, he has a relationship with Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver, specifically Troy Weaver. I believe Fontecchio is a free agent this year. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Fontecchio is going to be a free agent. Yep, there you go, right there. Fontecchio is a free agent, 30 years old. Shot the ball really well this year from beyond the arc. Again, the relationship is there. He's not going to be making a ton of money on that next contract. For some other guys who can provide some shooting potentially, if you want to just go for, I don't think they'll be able to afford Kelly Oubre. I think he's going to be a little out of their budget. But you got a guy like Fontecchio. If you want, and he would really help you address your shooting. Now, if you want to swing for the fences, shooting wise, you got a guy like Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes, he was on a weaker contract this year. Find avenues to clear some salary cap space and get him. Now, one of the things I explored, right now I'm just throwing out names. You got, like, again, Quentin Grimes, Isaiah Fontecchio, Goga Patatse, Amir Coffey, another guy that can provide some shooting, could provide a little bit of perimeter defense. One thing I looked into is, like, let's say, for example, the Pistons, if they were a team that could just take Herb Jones' contract back into salary cap space, you would create a trade exception, right? You would create like a $14 million trade exception. That wouldn't necessarily help you sign free agents, though. You could take players back via trade into that trade deception, but it wouldn't necessarily help you sign free agents. The Pelicans need to find ways to send to what's the word I'm looking for? Aggregate salaries and send out more money than they're taking back and create a couple of roster spots. That way you can sign some guys who are going to be, there's always guys who are going to be available for like the vet minimum. Amir Cough is going to be a vet minimum guy. I just truly believe that. Then you got guys like Goga Batase. I think Goga Batase probably going to come back for like $6 million, something along those lines. He probably not going to get a similar contract to what he got now. If you want to swing for the fences at center and say, we believe this is going to work out, then you got homie, what's his name, man? Hartenstein. Hartenstein's gonna be on the team option for OKC. Could potentially get, waived, or they could, pick up that option and use it as matching salary for a trade. That's another thing. For me, I'm finding a way to move off of DeJounte Murray and Jordan Hawkins. I'm going to get Ja Morant. Right? And if I really wanted to let my nuts hang, since I don't know, let's say if you trust trust third year Eve Messi as a rotational rim defending big. Hypothetically speaking, let's say you trust Eve Messi as a rotational rim defending big. Then you could go out and potentially get a big like Sabonis. Now that's something, those trade scenarios we ran through already last episode, so I won't bore y'all with running through those scenarios again. But there are realistic pathways, like realistic no bullshit pathways that the Pelicans could get Ja Morant and or Domantas Sabonis and not have to give up a ton of draft capital, because both of those guys are negative assets at this point. Sabonis, I believe he had knee surgery, didn't play much this year. Sabonis, Zach LaVine, and Keegan Murray, if I'm not mistaken, didn't play any time on the court, if I'm not mistaken. D for real say Chaz. Ryan Bourne funny. He say Messi Elijah Warren 2.0. D for real say Chaz. If you think about Colin Gillespie from the Suns, dude, a free agent, he a sniper. Let's take a look at what he's shooting. Colin Gillespie. Let's see what he got going on. Jay Burke say trade avenue. All we have realistically to improve the roster. Question would be, what can we legit get for Murray? I think honestly, the good thing about DeJounte Murray's contract is that he's only got 2 years left, and I believe it's going to start declining if I'm not mistaken. So if you're a team like the Kings who are dangerously close to the luxury tax, and you say, well, fuck, we about to have a top pick, we already got Keegan Murray locked up, we don't need a bunch of long-term bad salary, right? We need to create a little bit of space from the tax so we can sign some free agents. They also got, a situation with what's homie name? DeMar DeRozan, to where his contract isn't fully guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken. So they could just waive him and maybe create a little bit of space, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a large part of his contract is supposed to be non-guaranteed. But they right up to the tax, bro. They right up to the tax. They're probably gonna be a tax team unless they do something major and move Zach LaVine and or Sabonis. Now Zach LaVine could just be a nice guy and or a stupid motherfucker and decline his player option, and that's $40-something million off their books. But I don't think Zach LaVine is gonna do that. All right, so we're looking at Colin Gillespie. What he shooting? Colin Gillespie can shoot that motherfucking ball. That motherfucker can shoot. As a rookie, 24 years old, big grown ass rookie. 24 years old, 39% from the honor arc on one attempt, 43% on almost three. And this year, 40% on 7 attempts. Yo, that was a great recommendation, D for real. That's a great recommendation. A guy like that, this is a guy, again, who can give you spot minutes at the point guard, can stretch the court for you, probably really excels at catch and shoot, doing his thing. And he can rebound. Dude averaging 12, 4, and 4. Oh, they bringing him back. They gonna bring him back, D. They gonna find a way to bring him back. They better find a way to bring him back. What money? How much money is he making? How much money dude making? They better find a way to bring him back, cause that's crazy. That is crazy. Kyle Gillespie, he making two. Oh, he probably gonna get about 6. He probably get about 6 million. I gotta look at Phoenix's books, but he probably gonna get about 6 million. That is a hell of a motherfucking like production on that money. For real, for real. Yo, 69 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Rod, what's happening with your homie? What's good? Say, I'm so tired of seeing people say build around this one and that one. We need foundation to build on before we can just give the keys to anybody to have a good night. Yeah, I agree. I think with the Pelicans, you're in talent acquisition mode. You're in talent acquisition mode. You're not in a position to really just build around anyone in particular right now, because you need to see an extended period of time of people being successful. Like right now, if Paul George and Embiid wasn't on the contracts that they're on, there's no doubt in my mind that the 76ers will be looking to build around Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, because those dudes are incredible. But since Paul George is under contract and Embiid is under contract, you can't do it just yet. But like, those dudes have real foundational pieces right now. The Pelicans, Spears is really excelled in spots this season, really doing his thing toward the end of the season. But, you know, the Pelicans only down 5. Derek Queen balling. Derek Queen up to 7 points. He got 7 and 7 already. Shout out to Derek Queen. Derek Queen is up to 7 points. And is that 9 rebounds? Derek Queen balling out there. Shout out to Derek Queen, man. Balling for the last game of the season, leaving it all on the court. Yep, 7 points, 9 rebounds. If I'm Derek for the rest of the game, I'm hunting assists. Now on the real, they call me crazy Poole and Queen for Giant Edie. Oh, you know what? If I'm the Grizzlies, I'm not trading Zach Edey, dog. I think Zach Edey got like top 10 center talent. Zach Edey is fucking cold, dog. I'm not gonna lie. I would call and ask. Like, yo, what y'all trying to do? But I don't think they would do it. One sneaky person that I mentioned this person before. One sneaky person that I would be interested in is Derek Lively. Derek Lively out of Dallas. Like, if I could put something around Derek Lively for Herb, I would do that and just have a rotation of Derek Lively, Eve, and Carlo at center, and maybe bringing look for like a one break glass in case of emergency, big bodied center pause. But the Pelicans got some avenues to get better, bro. The Pelicans got some avenues to get better. Again, I'm looking for someone to take Murray and Jordan Hawkins off my hands. I wouldn't mind giving the Kings a protected first in exchange. But the question for the Pelicans is really going to come down to what to do with that Milwaukee pick. What do you do with the Milwaukee pick? Right? Because Giannis play all kind of games. But I think at this point, what's that with you, B. Thomas? I think at this point, Giannis is gone. So what do you do with that Milwaukee pick? And when do you do it? Because there are avenues, like people speak about, oh yeah, look, I was so fucking mad, bro. I wish I could pull up this tweet, bro. I was so mad that the Pelicans didn't get Jock Landale, dog. I was saying that all offseason. Like, I'm not like a fan, but I watched him a little bit in Houston, right? And I really want the Pelicans to get Jock Landale. Let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah, that's what I said. I said I wanted Jalen Smith, Jock Landale, and Messi. That's what I wanted the Pelicans to kind of like figure out a way to put together. And I was trying to trade for him. I was trying to find avenues to trade for him. Oh, Louisiana Gal said you're trying to trade that pick for where? Now here's the thing, Louisiana Gal. You might be cooking right there, because like if you Miami and you're in the play-in again, you got some salary cap space, but there's really no like superstar player. Like if we look at all positions and superstar players available for what Miami could potentially do, who really they gonna bring in? Who could Miami? Whoa, what's up with your Trey? Who could Miami realistically bring in? It's not a ton of people, right? So if you're Miami, that means Anthony Simons is another interesting person who I don't think will get a lot of money. But if you're Miami, you're going to have to draft that superstar. Now, maybe you keep Khalil Ware and you feel like he could take the next step and become that. But in the event you don't feel like that's Khalil Ware and, Spo and Khalil Ware's relationship stays the way it is, That's a person I might entertain trading that pick for, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's a person I might have to consider trading that pick for. And because I don't really know what that draft is gonna bring. Every year in the draft, you got a couple guys that like wasn't supposed to be good. They turn out to be great. And guys who you thought was gonna be great turn out to be bogus. But I do think that's something very interesting. Now, this is what I would hope I could do. I would hope I could set something up to where I can give Milwaukee, I could give Miami the Milwaukee pick. They give me Ware, and Giannis just goes to Miami, and they send Hero and shit to let me see something real quick. Maybe I could try to do something like that on here real quick. Let me see. D say I have a good feeling Zion will hit a new level just looking at the stuff he's doing with his trainer and the fact that he's had an off season where he's not losing weight or rehabbing. Oh yeah, he in that motherfucking what they call that thing again that the Sands was in? He in one of the motherfucking hibernation machines. Shout out to his trainer though. Shout out to his trainer. Whoa, my dog trainer Bill said Miami might get Ja. I could see that. But I think Memphis might try to squeeze Miami. The reason I say hyperbolic chamber, yep. I think Memphis might try to squeeze Miami because they know that's where Ja wants to go. Yeah, hyperbolic time chamber, yep. Because they know that's where Ja wants to go. So they be like, bitch, it's gonna cost them, because teams, when they know that you want to go there, they feel like they got some leverage. They're gonna try to put the press down on you. But we're doing this for shits and giggles. Giant Brooklyn would be interesting, but Brooklyn got so many picks. Brooklyn really should be tanking for the next few years. Y'all think y'all going to Brooklyn? Because Brooklyn got all the Knicks picks, if I'm not mistaken. They got a couple other picks. Brooklyn probably should be tanking. I don't know. I think Brooklyn gonna find somebody. I think Brooklyn gonna find a buyer for MPJ because he's balled out this year. And sure, they beat the Pelicans. Brooklyn gonna find a buyer for MPJ, in my opinion, and then they gonna have like fucking 8 picks, like this 8 to 10 picks. And they got all them young dudes. Igor Denham, is Danny Wolf in Brooklyn? Danny Wolf, like they got so many young guys. Sharp still there, Claxton. I think they gonna end up having a sell off, and they gonna have a gluttony of picks, and they gonna try to become OKC. That's what I think. All right. So let's try to see if we can do something like this. We just on the fly right here. All right, so you trade in Ware. Then Ware fits into the non-tax MLE. So let's say, this hypothetically, you trade him into the non-tax MLE, right? Hypothetically speaking. So, all right, then you trade. You move your pick. Do they have the Via Milwaukee pick on here? They don't really have it listed. I'm gonna use this as a placeholder because they don't really have it listed as the Milwaukee pick like they should. All right, so you move this pick to Miami. Well, I mean, you sending it to, I guess, the Milwaukee. Probably not gonna be no protections on that pick if you sending it to them, to be honest. All right, and I'm not sure this would work. Hold up. So Giannis to Miami, and who is these people? Let's see. Tyler Hero to Milwaukee, and I don't know. It works. It works, y'all. Dexter, shout out to Dexter in the building. I definitely think Zion's on the uptrend. What y'all think about this trade, this configuration? Well, of course, hold on. Let me do this too. Real quick. Milwaukee. They can't trade back-to-back years. That's the thing. Well, no, they can't. No, I'm tripping. Let me see. Bam. Why is my shit tripping? Hold up. No, I swear this site bothers me. Yo, are y'all seeing this? Like, it's not letting me do this. But anyway, they would be sending at least 3 firsts till Milwaukee, something along those lines, at minimum. Matter of fact, let me see. Hold on. Bam. So something like this makes sense. I don't know if the Miami Heat should do that because I think the East is gonna get a lot tougher. But D for real, so I feel like we gotta get DeJounte to Brooklyn. I really would like DeJounte to go to Brooklyn personally. I think DeJounte going to Miami is a good one too, H Bizzle. I was trying to set up something for that. I was trying to take back Terry Rozier contract and just let his ass stay home. I was like, man, take back Terry Rozier. Let Terry Rozier contract just expire. You just cleared your books. He ain't never got to suit up for the Pelicans. But what y'all think of this deal? What do y'all think of this deal? The Bucks get the Pelicans first for Khalil Ware, right? They take him into the non-tax MLE. I mean the taxpayer MLE. Miami get Giannis. They take Tyler Hero, Jovic, and 4 firsts. Y'all think they do this deal? The Pelicans might. I wonder if I could hold on. Let me see if I could be sneaky real quick. Cause they're gonna need some shooting. They're gonna need some shooting around Giannis. Let me see if I could do something cutthroat real quick. And would this work? Will this work? Nah, I ain't gonna send them to whatchamacallit. Let me see. No, I'm sending them to Milwaukee. Would this work? Oh, they say it'll work. They say it'll work. Oh yeah, that's what we doing. That's what we doing, y'all. Call it in. Hold on, let me check the latest on Doc Rivers. Doc was like, yeah, it's time for me to go home. Check my resume. I'm a bad motherfucker. These guys here, they like, goddamn, Doc, you've been pretty bad, bro. You've been pretty bad in your tenure. Doc Rivers out after Doc Rivers out as Bucks coach after 3 disappointing seasons. Boy, they ain't never lied. Yeah, he's been pretty bad. So, what do y'all think of that? I'm kind of with, goddamn, bro. I turned around for 1 second. These motherfuckers up 11. What do y'all think of that? Let me know. What do y'all think about trading that first pick for Khalil Ware? I'm not opposed to it. I might see. I would. The only thing that would bother me is that pick ended up being like number 1. But to me, Khalil Ware is already so good. Like, let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all this for the people who follow college basketball heavily. If the draft in next year's draft, right? In next year's draft, yeah, I really would try to get her to Miami somehow. In next year's draft, would Khalil Ware be number 1 if he was in that draft? God, dog, Jordan Hawkins is shooting that ball. Yeah, Adrian Griffin had a high. Then they hired Doc to be like Adrian Griffin's like mentor and shit. He snaked them. What kind of shit is that? That's like going to your pastor. You're going to your pastor for marriage counseling and your pastor having an affair with your wife. What kind of shit is that? Who does that? What kind of Tyler Perry shit is this? Yo, if you're in the building, make sure you smash the like button. So for the people who follow the draft, can y'all tell me if Khalil Ware was in next year's draft, based on his talent right now, would he be number 1? King Sam say knowing what we know about him, and if he was 19, yes. Hey, and look, with the lottery odds being flattened, because that's another thing to take into consideration. But with the changes they're potentially making to the lottery odds, that pick might end up being fucking number 4 or something. You know what I'm saying? Might end up being number 4. And also, keep in mind, nice coast to coast and 1 by Derek Queen. Louisiana gets it wherever go number 1. And keep in mind, if you're the Pelicans, you still have your own pick. You still have your own pick. So you're really only trading rights to the swap. If you're the Pelicans, you still have your own pick for that year. So it ain't like you really losing nothing. And you getting back, you addressing the position of need with a bad motherfucker at the 5. You already got your point guard. Imagine the pick and roll. Like, will we think about the things we see from Carlo in Jeremiah Fears? Like, that would be excellent. And you put Khalil Ware there. Khalil Ware, he's showing some willingness to shoot the 3. He's on a rookie scale contract. So you would have 2 real foundational pieces in Fears and Ware. And depending on how you feel about Derek Queen, you would have all 3 of those guys on rookie scale contracts. 504 say, let's bring AD back. You talking about Antonio Daniels? Antonio Daniels? Basketball said, who you got, the Cavs or the Raptors? I think I got the Cavs whooping the Raptors. I think, I ain't gonna lie, is Jared Allen back? Basketball? I watched, cause I was following the Raptors earlier this year. The Raptors was like my second or third favorite team behind the Celtics and the Pelicans, of course, earlier this year. And every time the Raptors beat the Cavaliers this year, the Cavaliers were injured. Anytime the Cavs were healthy, they beat the dog shit out the Raptors. That's kind of been the thing with the Raptors, though. Like, the Raptors just can't beat healthy teams for some reason. Like, it's really weird. And I think the spacing is gonna get real ugly in the postseason. But the Raptors have they had a couple tough shot makers. So we'll see how that goes. But I think I got the Cavs. See, they have no physical wings to guard Ingram or Barnes. I mean, honestly, I would kind of just let Ingram and Barnes take all the shots. To me, that would be my philosophy. I'm like, all right, Brandon, go ahead and take the twos. We're gonna go ahead and let Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and Mobley do what they do. This is gonna be a big year for Mobley and Donovan Mitchell, because if Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, and Harden, because Harden has always been known as a non-playoff guy, if those guys don't show up, it's gonna be ugly. Yeah, they definitely need Herb. Shit, know who they had? And this dude played against the Pelicans and beat and went off against the Pelicans, dog. What's homie, man? He had the plats. Dude had the plats, bro. He was a short, like, stocky, physical wing. I forget his damn name, but they extended him. Donovan Mitchell is a choker. We're gonna see. But you know what? I think, what was that? Game 7 or game 6? Donovan Mitchell, he had like 50 damn near, and they just lost. You know what I'm saying? Don say, oh shit, I ain't know Zion made the trip. Yeah, I look like everybody's still traveling with the team. I guess that's good. Last road trip, they're doing some bonding. Harrison Barnes, ooh, man. I'm trying to think of some of the relationships with Harrison Barnes. If I'm not mistaken, D, Joe Dumars might have been in the Kings front office when Harrison Barnes was there. He might have been there. If I'm not mistaken, Joe Dumars might have been there. Man, I don't know. That's a tough one. I would like Harrison Barnes, but I also don't think Harrison Barnes gonna come for nothing less than like 8 to 10 million. Seasoned professional, leader. Honestly, I think San Antonio might value what he do. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with De'Aaron Fox, though. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with De'Aaron Fox. I am Don Gillespie. Who guarding BI? Who guarding Mitchell and Harden? Quickly, easy work for him. Oh yeah, nice move right there by Jeremiah Fears, y'all. Shit, if they really wanted to be ignorant, I would probably put Evan Mobley on Brandon and be like, "Go ahead, Scotty. Just go ahead, do what you want to do." Like the person, to me, I think that would be the X factor. Oh, nice up court pass, nice dunk right there by Jeremiah Fears. The person in that scenario that would be the X factor to me is Quickly. Like, if Quickly went out there and did something crazy. My thing is, like, who are the Raptors gonna stop? Because you still ain't got no center. You got Jakob Portal and dude from Golden State, but it's like, who y'all gonna stop? Like, at the rim. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, though. Like, it's going to be interesting. Nice and one right there on the drive by Derek Queen. Nice and one on the drive right there by Derek Queen. Derek Queen is up to 16 points. Jeremiah Fears is up to 15. RJ Barrett is another. To me, RJ Barrett is he's not the best player on the team. I don't want to say that, but he's the most important player on that team. Because when you look at how they was playing this year when RJ Barrett got injured, it was bad. It was bad. That's one of the reasons why I stopped watching, to be honest. Once RJ Barrett went down, it was really bad. It's going to be a math game, Trey. Like, you're going to be trading difficult twos for threes. Like James Harden, again, that's the thing about James Harden. He's not going to really guard nobody, and he might disappear for 3 quarters, but then he'll wake up in the 4th quarter and hit about 4 of them motherfuckers. You say Brandon going to be guarding the 5 again. He could. I think they probably put, God damn, I'm trying to think. Because what you going to put Quickly on James Harden? You're going to put Quickly on Harden, maybe. That's going to go bad. You're going to put RJ Barrett on Donovan Mitchell. You're going to put Brandon on, who you going to put Brandon on? Evan Mobley? Then you got Jared Allen. I don't know, son. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. It's certainly going to be interesting. I'll say that. It's certainly going to be interesting. But the thing that the Raptors got to their advantage Well, shit, they ain't got much. But the thing that the Raptors got to their advantage, they are taller. They are taller. And the Pelicans. Oh, and I forgot about Dennis Schroeder. They got Dennis Schroeder. Keon Ellis is there. They got some defenders. Sam Merrill. They got. I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Cleveland choke. Yeah, they got a lot of chokers on Cleveland. That's the thing. Oh yeah, I remember. And somebody was like, man, I don't even want to say that because y'all gonna know who I'm talking about. I do remember that now, my dog. I do. And they was like, y'all don't think Brandon can start at the center? I just like, oh my god. Like, whatever. Squallow say, let's hope someone takes a flyer on Hawkins to free up $7 million. Yes. Again, Squallow, shout out to Squallow. I really think the scenario right there that will work for everyone involved is the Pelicans take on a bad contract or a quote unquote bad contract. Matter of fact, let's do the knowledge. Why it's about to be halftime. It's about to be halftime. Everybody in the building, if you haven't hit the like button, take a moment to hit the like button during halftime. Last game of the season, man. We were riding. I wasn't going to leave my people hanging, man. Let me see here. Let's take a look at Sabonis' contract. Oh, Sabonis. Sabonis getting money. He getting some money at the pay another nigga. Just accounting for him. So, next year, Sabonis, he going to be 30. He hitting $45 million. Oh, my God. Isaac Okoro. Thank you, Savage. Isaac Okoro, when they gave him that extension. And that nigga went to another team, showed up and balled out against the Pelicans. But yes, Isaac Okoro. That's who I was referring to. Thank you, Savage. So, you got a guy like, look, Sabonis, $45 million, right? If you're the Kings and you're already so close to the tax, wouldn't you want to free up some of that money, right? You want to free up some of that money, and you got Maxine Renard, Bayou Sniper. What's happening, dog? How you doing, bro? How you doing, Bayou? And yo, man, again, I said this earlier before all y'all came in, I believe. I'm gonna say it again. Thank y'all so much for y'all support this season. I know it's tough watching the bad team, man, but y'all really been rocking with a brother, man. Y'all been supporting me. It means a lot. I appreciate y'all supporting this venture. And yo, they also said that Doug Christie may not get fired. Sam Amick came out today with an article that say Doug Christie may be safe. So that's something that's pretty telling as well. And look, and you had Scott Perry, who's a friend of Joe Dumars. Scott Perry, friend of Joe Dumars, said that he wants the team to get younger. He wants the Sacramento Kings to get younger. And I think Joe Dumars was there. I think Joe Dumars was in Sacramento when Sabonis first got there. And Troy Weaver traded Serge Ibaka, for Domantas Sabonis. So the connections are there. So the connections are certainly there. I'm sorry. Basketball say Trey and Ingram debate's hilarious. Some people don't hold Trey to the same standard as Ingram. I think it got something to do with where they was drafted, though, to be honest. I think it's because where they was drafted basketball. Remember, Brandon was the number 2 pick. Brandon was the next Kevin Durant. Whereas Trey was just a tall, skinny nigga that was drafted pick 13. He kind of blossomed into a 20-point guy. But I think it's because of where they was drafted and like the marquee like name appeal. Like, I think it's the name appeal. Is more so what it is. Residual say David Grubb for Pels GM. I know he can't count on your endorsement, Chaz. Not at all. Not at all. I don't even like boiled eggs. Not at all. No Humpty Dumpty, dog. No Humpty Dumpty. Say, what's the shooter called on the Kings? Can we get him? The shooter? You're not talking about Keegan Murray, are you, D? Because they just gave Keegan Murray an extension. I don't think Keegan Murray is going to be available. If that's who you're talking about. Now, you might could get Doug McDermott. You want bucket? What's it called? Old Dougie Buckets. I get old Dougie Buckets. So there's potential, maybe. But I do think Domantas Sabonis is somebody that could, the relationship is there with Troy Weaver. Now, unfortunately, Precious Achiuwa is another person that would be nice for us to bring in at that 4 or 5 position. Probably not gonna cost a lot of money. Probably get about $4 to $6 million this all season if I had to guess. Probably gonna go to a contender or something. Another person that the Pelicans have a relationship with who may be interested in coming in to the team is Killian Hayes. What y'all think about bringing Killian Hayes in as a point guard? I'm just fucking with y'all. I don't want no motherfucking Killian Hayes. I'm just joking. But shout out to Killian Hayes. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. So, let's say, hold up. I want to look at the cap and see how close they are Ooh, my God. Yo, the Kings are $1 million away from the first apron. Oh, my God. The Kings in bad shape, dog. The Kings are in bad shape right now, like salary cap wise. Let's look at that offseason preview. We're only doing this so we could get an idea of why they would want to trade Sabonis. So it's saying it's 2.5 million over the first apron. Projected luxury tax space. Yeah, boy. This is bad. This is not good. And they only got 10 players on the contract. The minimum is 13. I believe the minimum is still 13. They only got 10 players on the contract. And one of them is a two-way. But DeMar DeRozan only got that $10 million guarantee, so they probably could walk away from DeMar DeRozan if they wanted to. The Denver Nuggets also aren't in a great space. They're in the best place than the Kings, but the Denver Nuggets got you got JV, who's a free agent. You got to pay Peyton Watson, Cam Johnson. He's expiring. There's avenues that you could move some money. There's avenues to where you can move Jordan Poole for like Cam Johnson and stuff like that. Trade expiring, or maybe Herb Jones for Cam Johnson. Like there's different like iterations of that trade that would work financially. Let's see. Let's look at the Pelicans. Do they have a preview for the Pelicans? Because it's the Pelicans, they probably don't even got one. Let's see. Do they got a preview for the Pelicans? Boy, they be disrespecting the Pelicans. They don't even be giving us no motherfucking off-season preview. They just be disrespecting our mind. They're like, we don't even matter. That's why I'm here. Let's see. Beanie say, would the Kings take Hawkins and Poole? I think so as expiring. I definitely believe they would. Because if you're the Kings, your goal is not next year, right? Because you're going to have a rookie. Your goal is to be as bad as you can be next year again, to have another shot at the lottery and clear your books. So you want to trade some of your more talented guys away just so you could be as bad as you could be again. And, maybe let's say the Kings get number 4 this year. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, that's Caleb Wilson or Peterson, right? Hypothetically. And then you go into next year's draft and you get number 6. Now you got Keegan, number 4, number 6, Maxine Renard. Like you have a very solid foundation that you're kind of putting together. Zach LaVine's gonna fall off the books. Now, if you could clear Malik Monk's salary and you could clear Sabonis' salary, now you good money. Because the Kings, oddly enough, are still a free agent destination because it's in California. Beanie, I'm sorry. D for real said, you the only person I respect doing this work home. I know you really watching the games. Some other boys just be looking at the box going talking crazy. I appreciate you, D for real. I appreciate your support, man. Thank you for showing up all the time, man. For real. That really means a lot. D say, I'm sorry, I read that one. Let's see here. But again, there's avenues for the Pelicans to get better. Like again, and they got that pick. And the more that goes on with that pick, that Milwaukee pick, and Giannis, the better off. Because hopefully Giannis forces the issue. Because remember, Giannis has a player option, right? So very few teams are going to be willing to take that chance and say, all right, well, we'll trade for him. We don't care if he walks. Very few teams are going to be willing to take that chance. So him forcing himself somewhere is probably more likely. Him forcing himself. So it depends on what happens with the Knicks and Cat. It depends. Now, Karl Anthony Towns is another person that could be interesting. Like if we, man, for shits and giggles, if we just wanted to look at an avenue for the Pelicans, this hypothetical. My dog say, y'all riding with the platform chats and live game streams are fun. Yo, man, they really are fun. I ain't gonna lie, they really are fun. I thought it was gonna be difficult this year, especially when they were sad. I was like, oh Lord. But it really had been fun. Shout out to Squallow. I appreciate you, fam. Sandro from Toronto has a $2 million player option. If we give him a decent deal, we can get him. Hey, if he opts out and thinks he can get more in that free agent market. Skull said, y'all think the parent of Fears and Queen is a bad fit? I spoke about this before. I think Derek has to, unless he changes physically, I think he has to play a more specific brand of basketball to where I think Fears is a little more universal. I think Fears can play off of Derek better than Derek can play off of Fears. Cause I don't know if Derek is like an awesome fit in the dunker spot or as a role man, but I do think as a a playmaker, Fears would benefit cutting and working a little bit. But the thing with Derek is Derek got to figure out what his bread and butter is and what advantage he creates on the court. Like with the pick and roll, if you don't have any two advantage creators that make you like, oh my God, either he gonna shoot a three or he's about to just go straight to the rim. If you don't have a pure advantage creator, like, cause Fear's trying to get to the rim, and Derek not that scary as a role man, and he don't really shoot the ball yet. Like he don't have a great shot just yet. So he gotta find an advantage that works for him that makes him a threat out there or advantage creator. Either that or he can get really, really strong like Duran and just be a physical monster. Oh, Victoria Taylor, what's going on with you? What's up with the end of the road? Oh, cause it's the last game of the season, Victoria Taylor. That's why I say that. Cause it's the last game of the season for the Pelicans. Who's rated T? What's up with you, homie? He say it's Trey. Oh, Trey, what's happening with my dog Trey Lassiter? What's the deal, bro? Shout out to Trey Lassiter. Look, Trey, what you gonna do if Indiana get that number one pick, Trey? What you gonna do if Indiana get that number one pick? Them Pacers. What you gonna do if them boys get that number one pick? That's gonna be crazy. That'll be crazy for Indiana, man. I would like that for that fan base. I really would. All right, so let's try to put something together here. This is in theory. Let's say if Giannis wanted to get to the Knicks. The Knicks don't have a lot of draft capital, y'all. That's the thing. That's why the only way I could see Giannis kind of like fucking the Bucks is if he forced himself to the Knicks. Because the Knicks don't have a ton of good shit to give back. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, hypothetically speaking, let's say Giannis goes to the Knicks. This is totally hypothetical, right? Giannis goes to the Knicks. This might not even work. Oh my God. Karl Anthony Towns goes to the Pelicans. That nigga got a player contract for player option for $61 million. Boy, life is not fair. Life is not fair. But that is a lot of money. Okay, and I guess I'm doing this because this goes to Milwaukee, and I'm guessing. Let me see what players I want to send to Milwaukee. I know Milwaukee had some interest in DeJounte Murray at one time. I don't know what relations DeJounte Murray has with Clutch. I'm talking about via Milwaukee. I don't know if Milwaukee has some type of relationships. Is Kyle Kuzma with Clutch as well? Is Kyle Kuzma still with Clutch? So it would have to be something like this. Milwaukee and oh my God, this is terrible. This is terrible, y'all. No, this wouldn't work. Let's just, it has to probably be Herb. Let's see, would Herb do it? No. Damn, these niggas is rich. Now, this would work. This would work, right? But if I'm the Bucks, I'm happy with my pick, but I need more. I need a lot more. Check out my song, y'all. I need a lot more, right? So, let's see what draft pick the Knicks got. They ain't got a ton. They ain't got a ton. What is this? Probably it's protected, so they're not gonna get this if I'm not mistaken. They got a couple unprotected. Is this a swap? It's a swap with Brooklyn. 30 is unprotected, so that's probably going to the Bucks. And if I'm the Pelicans, all I'm getting is Cat. I mean, which is not a bad thing sometimes. But if I'm the Pelicans, all I'm getting is Cat. And what? Like, I guess I'm getting the right to the swap. Excuse me, pardon me. I guess I'm getting the right to the swap. I don't like this. I'm not a fan of this. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I'm not gonna hold you, Slime. I'm not a fan. Yeah, this is bunk. This is bunk. What do y'all think of this trade iteration right here? What do y'all think of this? What do y'all think of this? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Let me know. Thumbs up or thumbs down? The reason I said Cat is because I don't know what's gonna happen with Mike Brown, and I know Cat is like he's looking like the odd man out with the Knicks, unless the Knicks go win a ring or some shit this year. C Breeze, they say DQ should run that second unit. He could easily average 5-7 assists on a bona fide six man. I ain't mad at that. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't mad at that because I still like Derrick Queen as a prospect. It's just you gotta utilize him correctly. You gotta find what works for him correctly. The last couple games he's been playing really hard. It's just like it's hard to overcome like those athletic limitations. Like think of the best big men you done seen. Some of the best big men you done seen coming out of college. Like what's homie name, dog? Oh my God, former Pelican Jahlil Okafor, right? Jahlil Okafor in the post, a dog. Monster in the post. Nobody could stop this man in the post, right? But he was so non-athletic, it was just like, look, this ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't gonna work. Now, Cat is a really good rebounder. I will say that. Cat is a really good rebounder. That's one of the reasons why I don't like totally hate the trade. But these some bunk ass picks in exchange. Now, by 2032, the Knicks will probably be done for. Shit, by 2028, the Knicks might be done for with this, you know, with that iteration of the roster. Because we don't know how many years Giannis has at a high level. But by 2032, that could really be a good pick. Yeah. Louisiana Gal said they're letting Doc keep his $8 million salary next year, even though he's choosing to depart. That probably is a mutual firing, to be honest. Or if they letting him keep his money, he probably was stealth fired. Louisiana Gal, I ain't gonna hold you. Because even the last 2 years, he's been kind of talking about like, you know, he's been alluding to wanting to quit. But that might be a stealth firing. Because wait a minute, you're choosing to depart and we letting you keep your money? You were fired. Like, you know what I'm saying? The letting you keep your money part means you were fired. But also, that makes me think if they letting Doc keep that $8 million, whoever they hire as their next coach is gonna be cheap. Because they're not gonna want to pay fucking $20 million. Like, you know what I'm saying? In two coaching salaries, in my opinion. Debo saying, in my heart, I was always pissed off we hired Joe Dumars as our VP. Let's see. Beanie said Squala. Oh, my bad. Keith Fears, Queen, Murray, Misi, everybody else could go. Why you say keep Murray, Debo? I'm curious. Why you say keep DeJounte? And there's the Pelicans trying to walk them boys down. Hold on, y'all. The Pelicans trying to walk them down. Let's get back to the game for a second. Yeah, the Bucks don't have no assets. The Bucks, the only avenues the Bucks got to really getting better is finding someone to take. Oh my God, bruh. Fierce just threw an alley to Jordan Hawkins. Jordan Hawkins just totally fucking whiffed on the alley. Oh my God, he just totally whiffed. It was a wide open alley. Oh my God. He just totally whiffed. That was bad. My bad. My dog said old school bigs with unathletic as fuck, but they were skilled in the paint. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like with the pace, us being in such a pace era, if you're not like a huge body, if you got to be able to finish above the rim, dog, like or at least deter shots at the rim. Like even let's say, for example, Miles Turner. Miles Turner sucks at rebounding. He averages like 4 to 6 rebounds a year. This man is a center. Can't rebound, right? But he's a decent shot blocker, decent rebound. I mean, not rebounder, decent shot blocker. Can score, of course. He's a person that the Pelicans could potentially be interested in bringing in. Like, if I wanted to do another iteration of this trade, like that I just did with Spot Track, I think Cat would probably be more ideal than Turner for the rebounding reasons. But if we want to do another iteration of this trade, maybe you send Cat to Milwaukee. Nah, you couldn't do this. Never mind. It wouldn't work. Don't even worry about it. It wouldn't work. Don't worry about it. Because I was about to say, you saying Cat to Milwaukee, you keep everybody else for the most part. Let me see. It might work. Hold up. Let me see this real quick. Let me see here. Hold up. Let's say remove you, Slime. Who y'all got? You sent Miles to New Orleans. finally get your wish with that. And you would need what? Another. I like Bobby Portis. I ain't gonna lie, dog. I'm a Bobby Portis fan. But you still. No. This shit still wouldn't work. Nah. I still gotta get another 10 million on my books. What the fuck? So, it would be incredibly difficult to make this work. It would be incredibly difficult. So, I would have to remove Miles and maybe if I take back Damn! So I would need to take back all these fucking players? And it still wouldn't work? Nah, I'm good. I'm certain. I'm looking at something wrong. Hold on. I gotta be looking at something wrong. Ain't no way in the world I'm doing this. Let me see. If I send him to Milwaukee, maybe. Nope. Even with that like type of salary, it wouldn't work. Fuck this. Fuck this. I'm cool. I am cool. Man, Hawkins is having such a terrible game. That dude, Aduro, his last few games, he been all right. He not a scorer, of course, but Aduro, he can earn another another two-way contract the way he been playing. I ain't gonna lie to you. Please no Miles Turner. Oh, you said you meant Trey Murphy. Okay, I got you. Debo said the Bucks promised Giannis a better team for 4 years in a row. He doesn't want the LeBron backlash. But they've done a lot to improve that team. It's not their fault that Dame didn't work out. They've done a lot to improve that team. So much shit is luck, in my opinion. Say Utah. I'm sorry. Jay Burke said DQ gonna have to develop that 17-foot shot like D West. Yeah, gotta develop that, or that at least. Nice drive into contact right there by Jeremiah Fizz. Nice drive into contact right there. Louisiana Gal said NBA reporters think there'll be 6-9 coach openings. I can only think of 4 obvious ones. Yeah, and to me, I mean, Ryan, I appreciate you, fam. Say, is there a chance we keep DeAndre Jordan as either player or coach? I think DeAndre Jordan was hired as a coach for this season. I think there is a likelihood, probably over 50% likelihood that he returns as a coach this season because they gave him a guaranteed contract, and they certainly didn't give him that contract just to be a player. I think he was unofficially their first coaching hire. Well, second coaching hire because they hired the guy from Milwaukee. I do think that's a possibility. I appreciate your super chat though, bro. Thank you so much. All right. Obvious coaching options. I think there's a scenario in which Udoka and Mike Brown could get fired if things go really bad in the postseason. But if I'm thinking about obvious ones, New Orleans, maybe Orlando, Milwaukee, of course. The Kings already said they want to keep Doug Christie. Well, Sam Amick said he think the Kings gonna keep Doug Christie. Boy, that was a nice ass move Fish just did. He lost the handle of the ball. Nice attack. Oh my God, Derek missed a really easy fucking layup. Nice rebound and recovered by Fierce. So who I said? Milwaukee, New Orleans, maybe Orlando. Who else y'all got? I can see the Knicks. Depending on what happens with Billy Donovan, that's maybe 5 right there. Maybe 5. Depending on what happened with, because there's always one shocker that happens, right? The Clippers got some money too, so depending on what happens with Ty Lue, maybe. What coaching hires y'all got? What coaching vacancies y'all got? Because that's the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. I can't think of a ton of them off the top of my head. That's why when people say there's going to be a ton of job openings, I'm like, well, there's only 30 fucking jobs. And it's not a ton of assistant jobs available as well. So I'm trying to think realistically, where are all these vacancies? Matter of fact, let's go through hold on. Let me see something. This game getting close. Hold up now. Let's look at the teams in the league real quick and see where these vacancies could potentially be. Jay Burke say, is that a Pels thing or an NBA thing where head coaches not hiring their own staff? It happens in the NBA. It happens sometimes. Like if you fire a coach abruptly and you hire a new coach, sometimes you just inherit the staff. Sometimes, like when Nate McMillan was fired and they hired Snyder, like at the end of the season, he pretty much just inherited that staff. You see, Derek got 21 and 15. Yo, Derek out there, he looking all right out there. He being very aggressive. He got 21, 15, and 3. Being very aggressive. Now I don't know any of these dudes playing for the Dante DiVincenzo played 7 minutes, but I don't know any of these dudes playing for the fucking Wolves at all, to be honest. But he got the numbers though. Tom Thibodeau would be interesting for us to bring in. Say the Bucks probably slot. That's what I'm thinking too, Squallow. I think if the Bucks want to be cheap, they might just be like Darvin Ham. You know, you're the guy we wanted all along, and they'll just promote Darvin. They'll potentially promote Rondo, because you can't spend a block on Adrian Griffin. How y'all did Adrian Griffin, you cannot spend a block on him. Because I don't see the point of them hiring a winning coach. Because I think they intend to find a way. If they trade Giannis, they probably intend to find a way to get their pick back from the Pelicans. I don't think they'll go out and try to hire like a winning coach. I think they'll try to hire a young upstart coach. Let me see. Hold up, my bad. Say what I hate about DQ is that he has a great offensive numbers, but he's a net 31 on defense. Dude doesn't contest anything and backs down every time. I think he's decent in the post. I think he's a decent post defender, but his perimeter defense and rim defense leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah, I'm looking, y'all. You think Milwaukee hire Borrego? That would fit, and that's something Scotto mentioned earlier as well, that Milwaukee could potentially be a landing place for Borrego. I think some of it's probably just educated guesses from Mike. You know, he said, you know, it's how they be wording things. Like they worded how we worded, like could potentially. You know what I'm saying? But that'll be interesting for them. I hope they do hire Borrego. Honestly, I really do. So you got Detroit. No, not. I'm gonna just go through these coaches and say no for coaches that's not for teams that probably not firing their coach. Detroit, no. Boston, no. Knicks, maybe. Cavs, no. Raptors. I could see a possibility, maybe. Atlanta, hell no. Philly, I don't think so. Orlando, probably yes. Charlotte, no. Miami, no. Milwaukee, they already did. Chicago, they say they don't want to, so maybe no. Brooklyn, no. Indiana, no. Wizards, no. Oklahoma City, no. San Antonio, no. Denver, no. Lakers, no. Houston is a faint possibility. Minnesota, probably not. Phoenix, no. Portland, I mean, they got Thiago Splitter. Some people think they might let go of Thiago Splitter, but I don't know why they would do that. Clippers, no. Probably not. Golden State, you don't know what's going to happen with Steve Kerr, but probably not. Like, the teams that's probably going to fire their coach, again, is New Orleans, Milwaukee, Orlando, and that's it. What are all these coaching vacancies? I totally agree with you, Louisiana girl. Like, what are the coaching vacancies that they speak of? Because I don't get it. Shout out to Fizz. Fizz up to 25. Fizz up to 25. The Pelicans down 2. Shout out to Jeremiah Fizz and Derek Queen out there balling, making the most of the final game of the season. If you're in the building, make sure you hit the like button. Atlanta, they keeping Snyder. I said Atlanta was firing their coach. If I said that, I totally misspoke because they definitely keeping Snyder. D was all of our candidates are recently fired head coaches. Well, the ones that have been publicly linked, Ali never was a head coach. He was an interim head coach in Orlando. Won a championship with UConn. Oh, Atlanta. Oh, nah, I don't think they're going to fire Snyder. Not after what Atlanta done this year and Jalen Johnson progression over the last 2 years, they probably like, yo, Snyder, you're doing an incredible job. No, another guy who's totally excelling under Snyder's leadership. I think they keeping Snyder. Yeah, I don't see a ton of vacancies. Like, I don't see them. Whoa, P. Fowler, what up with you, sis? Say Lincoln Lakers will get rid of that. Do you think the Lakers get rid of JJ? That'll be interesting because, Fear's up to 27. Y'all think Fear's going for 40 again tonight? Can Fears get to 40 again tonight? I don't think the Lakers now. Look at Joe Ingles still playing and got 10 points. That's crazy. The only way I see the Lakers firing JJ is if they only hired him because of LeBron. If they only hired JJ because of LeBron, then he might be out going about his business probably. Then I can see those teams. I can see like the teams like again the Clippers maybe, depending on what happened with Steve Kerr. Oh, nice and one right there. Depending on what happened with Steve Kerr, maybe the Warriors, Dallas, Chicago. They say they want to keep Billy Donovan, but every new front office deserves their own head coach. Billy Donovan trying to go somewhere and get that college money probably. Dallas, who J Kidd. I can see now if Jason Kidd gets fired, that would be an interesting hire. I don't think he'd do it. But fuck, he went to Milwaukee. He probably would go to New Orleans if he did get fired. I don't know if he'd do it though. I don't know if he'd do it. They're like, you don't want to come coach another Duke guy, Jason Kidd? You don't want to do that? Like, I don't know. Most haters say we need a good defensive coach. We let center shoot threes. Our defense is trash. That would be somebody like another steal right there by Fierce. That would be somebody like Mosley. Hell of a defensive team. Because one thing to keep in mind with Mosley, again, he has a lot of Willie Green similarities, but one thing to keep in mind, I guess similar to Willie Green again, is that Paolo, Suggs, Franz, all them dudes been banged up this year for real. Pete Fowler said Lakers have new owners and ready for new change. That's why Luka was maneuvered. Now that could be something if you just go out and say, hey, look, man, we building around Luka, Reeves, and we got 40 plus million this offseason. We about to go get a guy. Yo, Jason Kidd going back to not back to the Lakers, but Jason Kidd going to the Lakers would be very, very interesting. Reuniting with Luka would be fire. NBA problem is they hardly ever get fresh coaches to coach. Yeah, because, some of that is like the old boys club. Everybody know each other. So it's a bunch of retreads and just, a form of nepotism. It's funny. You got Jordan Poole is dressed out but not playing. Why the fuck is he even dressed out? JJ's better than Kidd. You think so? Wow. Let's see. I would love Donovan or Tibbs. Man. Would y'all? I saw some mention that Taylor Jenkins could potentially be in the running for the Milwaukee job. He would be another person I would like to have on the sideline. Taylor Jenkins is another person that would be interesting. I'm hoping. Nice move right there by Trey Alexander. To me, it is telling. Now, look, Joe Dumars is unconventional. He is. But it is telling to me that Joe Dumars' press conference is Tuesday and Borrego's press conference is Monday. So that means by Tuesday, Borrego could be unemployed. And it's like, all right, it don't make no sense to get in there. Oh, I thought Fierce had the and one. It could be a situation where they're like, it don't make no sense for me to talk before or after him Tuesday. He gonna get fired. Monday, he gonna get fired. So let's just move it to Tuesday. That would be interesting. Now, see, that's the thing, Gil. Shout out to Gil George in the building. That's the only thing. Man, we got motherfucking Joe Ingles in here having a motherfucking fucking flashback night like he with Utah or something, balling out. Say fired Carlos out and hired Larry Brown. Hey, it worked out. Shout out to Dumars for that. That shit worked out. Go back up. There you go. Good hustle right there by Hunter Dickinson. If I'm not mistaken, I gotta talk to my people in Memphis. A couple cool people in Memphis. Dodson being one of them, and my boy Grindhouse Grizz. If I'm not mistaken, they fired Jenkins because of Ja. If I'm not mistaken. Now, we only get half the story when you don't cover the team. But one of the reasons they fired Jenkins, from what I read, I think, was because of Ja. Now, that could be. Oh, boy! See, where Fierce fucked up right there, Fierce hit that ball with a major crossover, right? Nice ass move. Good hustle right there. Good blocking. Good hustle right there by Derrick Queen. Fierce hit that motherfucker with a nasty crossover, but he tried to finish with the right hand. If he would have finished with the left hand where he had the advantage, oh my God. Yeah, that was a terrible drive right there by Derrick. Because Fierce was like this. Give me the ball. And Derrick went coast to coast. He blew the layup. But that was good defense by Derrick. I thought it was really good defense. Jenkins, the coach of John Orland. That would be interesting to Oh, you said you think they fired Jenkins because they catered to Ja Morant. Now I gotta go ask my dog Grindhouse Grizz what was that about? Because if they fired him because he fell out with Ja, that's one thing. But if they fired him because he catered to Ja, hey, that might be ideal. To me, I think Jenkins would be ideal no matter what, because I like Taylor Jenkins' game. But hey, that might be ideal. That might be a good recruiting pitch. So Squallow say Red some lack of player development issues with Jenkins as well. Now I think that's another thing to where like that's why you bring in your own development staff. Like reportedly, Joe and Troy, they want to focus and hone in on the developmental aspect of this team and team building. That's why they brought the dude in from Portland. He's like a developmental guy. So they want to hone in on that. I'm hoping by Monday, if Borrego speak at 11 o'clock, because that shit used to be at like, 11 o'clock, them press conferences. I'm hoping by 11:30, he's like, it's officially over. Like, it is over. My dog said Jordan Poole need to file a civil lawsuit on James Borrego. Like, nigga, you cost me money. Yeah, shit. Sometimes you gotta call the cops. Sam Cassell will be interesting. The thing I like, I don't know if they changed this rule, but the thing I like a lot about the way like coaching interviews go, you don't have to wait until the offseason to interview these coaches. Like, especially like a person like Sam Cassell. Remember, they hired Elvin Gentry during the NBA Finals. Ultimately, it turned out not to be the right move, but that is an avenue that you could take. Debo said we still have Corey Brewer on the coaching staff. Yeah, Corey Brewer still on the coaching staff. And I think he's still with the Big Three as well. Shout out to Coach Brewer. Lee said Derek Queen on 2020 watch. Derek Queen on 2020 watch. Got to keep an eye on it. Hopefully, bro, get it. You understand? And he got a block. I'm all about letting the rookies stat pad. Like, just put the rookies back in the game. Let them do their thing. Let them get the numbers, and then we can just go from there. Derek is 8 for 18, 23 points. He had 2 easy layups he missed. It said Sam Cassell doesn't interview well, allegedly. Damn. That's the second time. I think we talked about that before on this one as well, right? That's the second time we've heard that. I wonder, maybe it's a little too rambunctious. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe what it is. Maybe that's what it is. He might need maybe he might need more of a filter. But I think for Joe Dumars might understand it and be a little more willing to, look past certain things like that in the interview process. That was great defense by Jordan Hawkins right there. Fierce with the rebound. What you gonna do with it, Fierce? What you gonna do? He ain't looking to pass it. I'll tell you that. Nice pass on the cut right there to Hawkins. Give it back, Hawk. What you gonna do, Fierce? Come set the screen, Hunter. Fist of the Black Star. What's happening with your homie? Ooh, this is an ugly ass possession. This is a hideous possession. Jesus Christ. Oh my, Trey Alexander. Oh boy. All right. That was a wasted possession. Montdog say, meanwhile, has Zion had a 40-point game lately? Shit, I don't remember what they stopped playing. How many games? I don't even remember last time you played. D said we need a coach before the playoff and no later. Yeah, I think you definitely got to hit the ground running, bro. Like, I don't think you want to wait until fucking June to be hiring your coach. Like, come on, man. Say, Fist of the Black Star said, I don't give a F about how he interviews. How does he coach? Well, again, we don't have any data on him as a head coach necessarily, but he's from an incredible assistant coach factory in Boston. Believe he spent some time with the Clippers as well, right? If I'm not mistaken, spent a little time with the Clippers. I think I know he was a player with the Clippers at one time, but it's something that could be interesting. For me, I would rather have a person with a history of winning, even if it nice up and under right there by Jordan Hawkins. Even if it wasn't like a crazy like track record, like even if you ain't got no rings, but if at least Taylor Jenkins was getting you comfortably to the playoffs and maximizing that team. Residual would say would love to see them give Sam a chance. He is a champ. Yeah. the thing, and again, bro, like so many things are stupid, bro. Like so many things are stupid. Like the thing that comes out today about Kevin Ollie and the relationship between Kevin Ollie and Troy Weaver, and people were acting like that's new information. That been talked about since 2000. Not even whenever year Monty Williams was hired. That's when that quote came out with Troy Weaver saying that, I'm sorry, with Kevin Ollie saying Troy Weaver's like a father to him. That quote came out the year Monty Williams was hired, if I'm not mistaken. That's an old ass quote. This is not new information. But people a little, reactionary. My dog said our coaches in North Carolina because they wanted to spare Borrego whole ass feelings. And it could have been a price. He could have priced himself out a bit, talking about Malone. Because North Carolina does not seem thrilled by that hire. I will say that. Fisted Black said, I'm saying we got to be a bit unorthodox when building this thing because stuff never go right for us. Yeah, to me, if you could get Sam Cassell and Sam Cassell is open to listening and you surround him with a very quality staff, he already learning from one of the best with Missoula. You know what I'm saying? He already learning from arguably the best in Missoula. And he been around. He know what it takes to win. He's a point guard, so the IQ is there. You already seen Sam, so the motivational shit is there. And it's just a thing. It's just a thing sometimes with former NBA players transitioning to coaches that can be like, it's so hit or miss. But fuck, regular non-NBA players being coaches is a thing as well. Brock say Howard Taylor Jenkins how you affected the Morant trade. I gotta look more into it because on one end I heard that him and Ja fell out because whatever reason. So I don't know if that is the reason, because if that is the reason why Taylor Jenkins was fired because him and Ja's relationship had soured, that it probably wouldn't be a good thing to reunite them in New Orleans because who knows what's gonna happen. Squallow said Mike Malone got let go of control issues. A bad fit with Dumas UNC a perfect for him. Yeah, Mike Malone needs to be in charge of a program. Like, you know what I'm saying? If Mike Malone was an NFL coach, it would make sense. But in the NBA, a coach can't have that type of carte blanche. Like, the coaches can't do that. Like, if you're not Pat Riley or some shit, coaches can't have that. Coach can't have that kind of power, and especially not in the NBA. So Mike Malone, the GM fell out. They end up firing both of their asses. Age Bizzle said, "Do you think Joe and Troy will require a new coach to hire certain assistants such as Ham Ollie if they don't get the job?" Nah, I don't think so. I think Darvin Ham is going to be a head coach somewhere next season, probably with Utah. Like, I could see Darvin Ham being a head coach, unless he doesn't want to be a head coach. With Ollie, I can see Ollie being an addition to the staff. I don't think they would force the new coach's hands because, again, they not forcing Borrego to do certain shit now. You feel me? So that's why I don't know if they would force the new coach's hand. Like, they didn't force Borrego to play pool. They're not forcing him to play Looney. Like, they seem to be a little hands off in that regard. I do think they would want to get some really quality coaches and not just a motherfucking partner. I say that. My dog said I get the Bucks like Milwaukee because Sam I can sell. Jada, shout out to Jada. Shout out to Jada. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, man. It's gonna be interesting to see. Hopefully they do this shit at a decent time tomorrow. I'm not really interested in no exit interviews, to be honest, because it's like, what y'all about to really say? You know what I'm saying? I thought that was funny when bro, I think it might have been Terry Kimball. If it was Terry Kimball, shout out to him. If it's not Terry, then my mistake, because I don't know who exactly asked this question. But they asked Borrego, yo, how would you grade yourself? He's like, I don't know. What's funny? Bruh, I thought of this quote. And I started to post it, but I was like, I ain't gonna post it. Dude asked Borrego, how would he grade himself? And Borrego said, it's a village. And I thought about when old boy from Baltimore said, but what if the village is, he said the R word. He's like, what if the village is R word? I was like, oh God. Oh God. I started to post that. I was like, nah, I ain't gonna post it. Mondo said, apparently Darvin Ham is the devil in some kind of way. Borrego is a better choice according to some. Dog, again, I think so much of this shit is PR. So much of it is PR. Like, we'll never know. It's like with Willie Green all over again, right? You'll never know if Borrego is the devil or not because Nobody really watched the Hornets, and nobody watches the Pelicans. It's such a low profile job that he get to, fail below the radar. But if this motherfucker was coaching the Lakers or something, they'd be like, this dude's the worst coach in the fucking world. Like Darvin Ham was coaching the Lakers, coaching the Bucks he wasn't the head coach, but he was an assistant. Coaching the Lakers, went to a Western Conference Finals. But people would take like a couple of the quotes, like the go hard in them dudes, which is funny. And then you got him just standing on the sideline with his hand in his pocket looking crazy. Now, I don't know if he's a good coach or not. I don't know. But what I do know is that relationships and politics play a lot into this shit. It really does. Alternate reality says Jamal Mosley sucks. And that's the thing, too. Jamal Mosley might be one of them coaches that could get you to the playoffs, but that's it. Like, that's where it stops. But if you're the Pelicans, that's kind of what you need. You need to get to the playoffs. Like, motherfucker, you need to get to the playoffs comfortably. And then you can worry about taking the next step. But right now, you can't get to the playoffs. I think Derek got 18 rebounds, y'all. Chasing that 2020. They got 18 rebounds. Oh, PV with the fadeaway that went out. Borrego and Mosley, damn, they have the same head coaching record. Mosley got a better record than Borrego. He got a better record, and he got a Western Conference Finals appearance. See, the pressure got Ham fired. I think Brian had a word in it too. Oh yeah, to me, I think Brian slicks out a coach killer on the cool. You got David Blatt. He was cursing out Ty Lue, Vogel. Like Brian done got some coaches to fuck up out of here. B times I want Rondo. Man, I would be thrilled. I would be thrilled if Rondo got a shot. I ain't gonna lie. Like, if they hired Rondo, I wouldn't care how next season went necessarily. I would be like, damn, because I'd be like, all right, now we first time head coach, we gotta go for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, especially if you didn't supplement the staff. If they hire Rondo, of course you gotta put a great roster around him. But if you hire him, I'd be like, all right, I'll have to stall Rondo out. I don't think they would want to hire a first-time head coach that hasn't at least been an assistant for a long time, though. Because Rondo hasn't even been an assistant for a long time, if I'm not mistaken. Derek got 19 rebounds, y'all. Derek need one more rebound. He need one more rebound to get a 2020. He need one more rebound to get a 2020, man. One more. But yeah, they need to clear this whole bench. Look at Jody Meeks. Look, y'all saw that just now? When they cut to the sideline, Jody Meeks had his head down like, oh my God. Like, I don't know what he was saying that too, but Jody Meeks had his head down. My dog said we know Borrego sucks because of Charlotte. Yeah, he was head coach. I think he's been a head coach total for about 6 seasons. He has one season above 500. Come on, like, it's ridiculous. Ice Cold say, what a waste. Another season, no playoffs. Yeah, this team could have easily been a play-in team, in my opinion. Could have easily been a play-in team. B. Thomas said they doubling DQ every time he get the rock. I don't know why. I mean, because he already got 20, what he got, 25? If they try to do a Bam Adebayo, fuck, all he needs is one more rebound. He ain't really got nothing to do with his scoring. But, I mean, looking at the other people on the floor, it's Hunter Dickinson. No, it's Oduro, Queen, Trey Alexander, Peavy. Ooh, this season can't get over fast enough. Yo, if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button while you're in the building. Swallow say Zion would have to play better to G. Would have to play better to G. He certainly would have to have a more active season. Like, he probably gonna end the season averaging 13 shots. So this is a fucking waste. It's a waste of games played with the way he was utilized this season. That's a total waste. Fist say, if we had fired Willie this past offseason, the actual coaching search, who you think would have been the higher? I think if Joe Dumars had the opportunity to hire his own coach, this offseason, they probably still would have tried to call Mike Malone. They probably still would have tried to call Mike. Ali name would have still been in the mix probably. Ham would have been in the mix. But I think since Mike was the first name that we heard attached to them that was a prestigious name, I think they would have tried to go get Mike. I really do. So the team was doing once Willie wasn't fired last year. That's how I felt personally. Like, to me, once you brought the coaching staff, because I don't want to say Willie alone. Kevin Ollie, he used to coach at UConn. I think he won a championship with UConn, B. Thomas. Yeah, once they brought this exact same staff back, I was like, this is a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Brought the exact same staff back. You didn't really address none of the needs for the team. You didn't go bring in any shooting necessarily. You didn't really bring in much like score, like rebounding and rim defense. It was like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did Willie survive last season is beyond me. I think because they had a built-in excuse. Like, and that's the thing. That's one of the issues with having a player like Zion or like Joel Embiid, even though Joel Embiid is like incredible. Like, when you got Zion and Joel Embiid and guys who always injured, the coach just got built-in excuses like, nah, when they play, I have success. When they don't play, I'm unsuccessful. They're the problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could, like, those type of guys cast a big shadow. You know what I'm saying? Those type of guys just cast such a big shadow, and you could hide excuses under that. First the Black Star. Where's Kevin Ollie right now? Is he employed? Not in the NBA. Not in the NBA, Fist. I'm sure he's gainfully employed somewhere, but he's not in the NBA. Even with the UConn thing, I think they went to arbitration. He ended up getting like the remainder of his salary, if I'm not mistaken. This has been a terrible Jordan Hawkins game, dog. Jordan Hawkins has been so inefficient at the end of the season. It's crazy. In this particular game, I mean. Failure to bring in a point guard with DeJounte out ruined the season from the jump. Like, to me, the thing I didn't like from the onset was Antonio Reeves being waived. Like, if we gonna go through the breakdown of all the bad moves they made, but if I had to go through all the bad moves that they made this season, in my opinion, it was letting go of Antonio Reeves, right? But let's say you countered that with bringing in Bryce McGowan, whatever. But letting go Antonio Reeves, keeping Jordan Hawkins. I don't mind them signing Kevon Looney because you couldn't have predicted he was going to be this bad. The Herb Jones extension. To me, the Herb Jones extension is one of the worst decisions this entire offseason. To me, that's one of the worst decisions this entire offseason, that extension. But you can think of it like this. He would be expiring this offseason. Now, maybe that's not a terrible thing, though. Maybe him expiring this particular offseason. I'm sorry, he would be on the final year of his deal. He would be a expiring contract this offseason. Maybe that's not a terrible thing, but that contract, that jump to $20+ million from where he's at now and his production this year, man, that's a tough pill to swallow. I think it's going to be a tough pill to swallow for a lot of organizations. But that's why you can only really trade him to a championship team or a team with championship aspirations. I think Herb to the Lakers still makes a ton of sense. B. Thomas say, well, we always get the worst inner players. Well, you got Sadiq Bey. CJ McCollum was still balling out. I mean, you got a couple guys to where they got to the Pelicans and excel. Even Jose Alvarado. Jose in New York doesn't even really play. You know what I'm saying? Najee kind of found his footing here with the Pelicans. You got a couple guys that kind of did their thing here and didn't really, go anywhere and do anything else. But at the same time, like even with I know a lot of people break up Nikhil. This is Nikhil's third or fourth team, if I'm not mistaken. Atlanta's Nikhil's third or fourth team. That's about 8 seasons. Nikhil is on his. I think Nikhil on his third contract, if I'm not mistaken. On his third contract. This is the first year he's averaged double digits since leaving the Pelicans. So when he went to the Wolves, didn't average double digits. I don't think the Jazz ended up keeping him. So now he's with Atlanta. He's balling out of control. Shout out to him. But like Dyson is about the same. Brandon is about the same. Nikhil, you traded Nikhil for CJ, so that kind of is like a wash. CJ was an expiring. You traded him for another expiring, and Jordan and Sadiq Bey, who you were probably planning on keeping. So it's like a lot of these deals end up washes, right? Which is not terrible, but it's like you need to win some of these motherfuckers. You need to win some of these motherfuckers. Like that's the thing, in my opinion. You need to win some of these deals. So it'll be interesting to see. Oh, almost a nice pass right there by Jeremiah Fitz. Almost, but it turned into a turnover. Though, these dudes that we don't know at all is beating the dog shit out the Pelicans. I don't know. I think I know. All I know is Joe Ingles. They ought to be ashamed of themselves for making Joe Ingles go out there and play. They really ought to be ashamed of themselves for having Joe Ingles out there. B. Thomas, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Welcome back, B. Thomas. Anybody in the building, consider becoming a member. If you haven't already, man, we go up on Fridays. I appreciate everybody supporting the building. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button already, man. Hit the like button, please. None of our players, even Fizz, playing the defense. I think you got a couple guys that play strong defense. Like I thought PV played some solid defense on he played some solid defense on Jaylen Brown to start. But B. Thomas, they traded North for CJ. Now they balling together. Ain't that how the universe work? Ain't that a bitch? But hey, it's only so many teams you can go to. Yeah, Chris Quinn is a head and shoulders better coach than Borrego. Again, the Pelicans should have beat. I think in a series, 100% healthy, the Pelicans could push the Wolves or beat the Wolves. Honestly, I'm talking about this iteration of the Pelicans. I think they match up so well against them, player for player. I think Zion and Ant is like Zion versus Anthony Edwards is must-see basketball to me. But I think the coaching factor is what kills them. Like, again, you go back to that loss against Minnesota where the Pelicans are up like, 4 with like 20 seconds left. Jose Alvarado has the ball, gets trapped at half court. No one calls a timeout. He turns the ball over. Minnesota goes down on the other end and scores. Then Minnesota gets the ball back. On the ATO, you got Jose Alvarado guarding fucking Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards gets an easy bucket for a win. Then in overtime, you got Jose Alvarado still guarding Anthony Edwards. We beat the Wolves this season. Debo, we beat the Wolves, game before last? If I'm not mistaken. We just beat the Wolves. That's why I say they match up so well versus the Wolves for some reason. Say Poole DMPs killed the season and starting DQ. Yeah, I mean, I do think if you play Poole more often this season, you probably win more games. And I think at one time when you were starting Derek, at one time, in my opinion, you had one of the worst starting big situations in the NBA. Cause, man, Derek had a rough season. He didn't have a rough season total numbers wise, but he had a rough season if you actually watch him play every night. And that's the thing. Like, to me, I'm not a person, I can't point to the numbers with shit when it suits me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't point to the numbers of shit when it suits me. Like, if I point to the numbers, I say, well, shit, Derek had 100 double-doubles this season. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's say Derek had 82 double-doubles this season. That's incredible. That is incredible to me. Incredible. But if I watch the game and he's giving up like 20-plus points a game on the other end and giving up a bunch of other rebounds, it's an issue. Like, it's a bit of an issue, right? So, you know, this is one of them things. That's why I'm glad we watch the games and not just like the total numbers or, you know, basketball reference. Because numbers without context is meaningless. But I'm glad that in the final stretch of the season, you know, Derek's still playing hard, Fear's still playing hard. I think mentality wise, you got the right kind of guys so far. It's just at some point can the talent match up with the mentality and with the draft status. Oh, yo, that dude Aduro, he might end up being a solid hustle person. Aduro might end up being a solid hustle two-way guy, bro. He's playing for an NBA job, like for as staying active on the boards and shit like that. Oh my god, like just now, like just now. Number 19, I have no idea who the fuck that is. Have no idea, no disrespect, cause he don't know who the fuck I am neither. This man, never mind, bro. Again, you gotta watch the games. You gotta watch the games, like, and that's what it's all about. Too much dribbling right there, Jeremiah Fizz. Too much dribbling. Oh, kick out the Trey Alexander with a big three. But that was still too much dribbling. B. Thomas say, facts. Other teams know what to do at the end of games, even if they're trying to give us the win, and we always get wet the bed in crunch time. Exactly. That's why I'm like, I know people were upset at Jose. People were upset at Jose for turning the ball over, but I'm like, no. You got 2 timeouts. He's trapped. Call the timeout, coach. Somebody go do something. But, or at least tell him, call timeout, like, do something. But come on, man. You have the coach disadvantage every time. Brian says, it's time we fleece a coach. Anybody? Why nobody going after OKC coaching staff? I think because that coaching staff is still so young. It's still so young that guys probably aren't that eager to leave just yet. And OKC only been good for like, what, 4 seasons now? This probably what, the 4th season? They had a couple seasons where they got eliminated early, I think. Then they won a championship, and this would be the 4th season. So that team ain't really been together too long. Debo says Sadiq Bey a starter next season. I think with the amount of volume Sadiq Bey shoots at, like he shoots a lot. I think Sadiq Bey would be better suited maybe as a 6 man, just because he likes to shoot a lot. He would be like an ideal shot chucker. You'd be like, man, go out there, you take 20 of them motherfuckers with that second unit. But I do think Sadiq Bey is a starting caliber player as far as like rebounding, again, shooting the ball, like hustle. Like Sadiq Bey is quality. I would like probably somebody, if I was gonna have somebody starting at the, because Sadiq Bey pretty much plays the 4. So if I was gonna have somebody starting at like the 4, I would probably rather a more traditional big. Like I would probably rather somebody like who's like a more rangier athlete. Like but it's hard to do because you ain't got a lot of shooting. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to do these things if you ain't got a ton of shooting. You feel me? Like I can't say, yo, Sadiq, you go to the bench for Precious Achiuwa. And it's like, all right, so I got Precious Achiuwa, Eve Measy, Zion, Jeremiah Fizz, and Trey Murphy. What kind of fucking lineup is this? Like, you know what I'm saying? You need Sadiq Bey as an offensive threat because the Pelicans, again, with Borrego, have way too many offensive lulls. And sometimes Sadiq Bey, he be bailing you out with a big bucket. And Sadiq Bey know how to get to that fucking free throw line. Like, he's a physical guy that can get to that free throw line. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This dude, number 19, is giving Derek the fucking blues, bro. Who is that guy? Who is this motherfucker? Hold on, bro. Who is this dude? Behringer. Is Behringer the dude that Sadiq Bey was matched up against in Summer League? I'm not Sadiq Bey. That Derek Queen was matched up against in Summer League. That was kind of like competitive. AD said he wanted Ja, huh? Man, Anthony Davis is lying. Anthony Davis is lying. And I don't know why niggas lie like that. Like, Anthony Davis was lying. Anthony Davis had decided he was leaving the Pelicans that offseason when he signed with Clutch, bro. Soon as he signed with Clutch, he was leaving. Like, it just is what it is. And I think it was like, it wasn't like a well-kept secret. Everybody knew he was leaving. Everybody knew the brother was leaving. So it's like, why you just can't say you wanted to leave? Again, we spoke about this on the last episode when he was like, yeah, Drew needed a point guard next to him. Ja Morant is not a traditional point guard. That's not the type of guard Drew Holiday needed next to him. But like, what are you talking about? Ja is not that type of point guard. So Ja's a downhill score first attacking like 1A type guard. He's not whatever Drew Holiday. And Drew Holiday couldn't even shoot at the time. So how would Drew Holiday realistically benefit off of Ja Morant's gravity, especially as a rookie? Like, why would a rookie be able to come onto a team, pause, and be that effective immediately? Like, he was just lying. Yes, Behringer was the Wolves' #2 option for the draft. They wanted to draft Queen. Behringer, he looking all right. Like, he's a rangy athlete. He looking all right. They got some athletes on that motherfucking squad. Shout out to them. Shout out to them, man. AD wanted to be relevant. I don't know why. AD just, I don't know. I don't know. He's like, he don't have to do this. This is the first time he really, well, not first time, because he talked about it on LeBron's show. I'm like, that was so long ago. Why are you even bringing that up? You're on your third team since the Pelicans, bro. You're a journeyman now. You're on your third team since the Pelicans. Why are you still talking about the Pelicans? Like, why that even? Come on, man. Most Brian say next coach gonna have DQ on defensive drills. Hopefully, I mean, it's only so much, you could really do. Man, this dude Behringer got 6 fucking blocks. This dude Behringer is terrorizing the Pelicans. This dude got 6 blocks. This dude is alright, bro. This dude is alright. I ain't gonna hold you. He is alright. He is terrorizing the Pelicans. Nigga got 6 blocks. Say we need to ask him the 2 guard in the starting lineup, additional shooting, scoring, secondary playmaker type. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Say what the F they gonna do with Jordan Poole. I think they gonna explore trading him on that expiring. But he's a person that I wouldn't be shocked that they brought back, just because I could see a scenario to where they like, it was the coach. Jordan's never been this bad before. Everybody on the team underperformed. It's the coach's fault. Like, I can see a scenario the way they say that. My cousin told me not to tell anybody that AD didn't rock with the players on that team. They like to go out to clubs, and he was a homebody. Yeah, Anthony Davis used to just have like poker games at the house and shit and chill out. And there's a low key guy. He was cool. Like, I met him. He was a cool guy. But look, when the Pelicans traded for Boogie Cousins, it became Boogie Cousins' team. When the Pelicans got Boogie Cousins, the team belonged to. Derek Queen got the 20. Shout out to Derek Queen for that 2020. Shout out to him. When the Pelicans got Boogie Cousins, it was Boogie Cousins and Rondo team. It was Boogie Cousins and Rondo team. Damn, Trey Alexander, you missed both free throws. Shout out to Derek Queen. Congratulations to that young brother for that 2020. Shout out to him. Shout out to him for that 2020. Say, I think a lot of teams copied the Pelicans blueprint to get long, rangy athletes. It's just other teams doing it better. I can see that, because at one time the Pelicans had a bunch of guys. Herb at 6'7", Zion at 6'6", Brandon at 6'9", Trey at 6'10". A lot of long range athletes. But now they wasn't like super quality athletes. Like, wasn't nobody really had like an elite first step of jumping out the gym, aside from Trey jumping out the gym, and Zion, as, oh my God. Oh my God, this is such a bad defensive team, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. I am not gonna lie to you. So, oh my God, bro. Again. If you didn't watch the game, never mind. I'm not going to even say it. I'm not going to say it. Hey, it's Lean. Whoa, what up with you, Lean? Say, yo, Chaz, have you seen Lopo's video on the Pels rebuild? No, I haven't. Shit. Matter of fact, we probably could put that on real quick. I haven't seen it. Let's put that on real quick, and we'll end the show checking that out. Shout out to everybody in the building, man, still rocking with me. Last game of the season, man. I appreciate everybody's support. You know what I'm saying? Much love to y'all, man. For real. Let's see. Low post Pelicans. Much love to y'all, man. Let's see. How the Pelicans wasted 13 first round picks in 7 years. I might have to record that and do a breakdown like that. But the Pelicans did waste a lot of those picks. I will say. I will say. I might do like a recorded breakdown on that one. I didn't know it was that many minutes. But I'm gonna do a recorded breakdown on that one. But yeah, it's a lot of fucking picks wasted, man. It's a lot of motherfucking picks wasted. I talk about that all the time, truthfully. Fears got the double-double. Shout out to Jeremiah Fears. The Pelicans about to lose to a bunch of people none of us know. Behringer got 20. Man, hold up, bro. Behringer got 20 and 12 and 6 blocks. This nigga got 20, 12, and 6 blocks. 8 of 11. Yeah. 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 And where was he drafted? Can someone? Where was Behringer drafted? Again, can someone tell me? So Behringer got 22. Behringer has dominated tonight. Okay. Jay Cal said, am I still gonna be on live? Yeah, I'm still gonna be doing some lives. I'm still gonna be doing the lives covering the off season. Still gonna be doing some lives covering the off season. Damn. Yeah, Ingles had a solid game for him. Ingles got 10 assists. Joe Ingles got 10 assists. What year is this? Behringer was pick 18. Man, if you don't get the fuck, man, come on. You got Behringer at pick 18. You got Maxim Renard at what in the second round? Even though he forced his way to the Kings, this look crazy, dog. Like I ain't gonna lie, this look crazy. You think LeBron better than Jordan? Okay. That's a hell of a I don't know. I mean, everybody different, but I never really understood that talking point. Like, you're talking about a nigga that retired twice and still like still the man. He was picked 17. With the Pelicans had the 21st pick. Or they could have kept this pick and maybe ended up with a top 20 pick from Indiana. If they didn't trade the Indiana pick. Yeah, that was another thing. Trading the Indiana pick. I don't know, bro. It's just a frustrating misuse of resources. It's a frustrating misuse of resources. See, Tim Conley got 5-star scouts. Clearly, cause this is my first time really watching Behringer like at length aside from Summer League, and he doing this motherfucking thing. Giannis said the Bucks are trying to hold him out. Yeah, I did see Giannis say that. But Giannis, I mean, being realistic, it's like, all right, if you go out there, God forbid, and tear your Achilles, God forbid, then what? Like, now what? Like, you know what I'm saying? What we gonna do? Like, yeah, it don't make no sense. Highline Bling is a good song. Say Zion done. He got to try one more season with a healthy Murray and one more piece. I don't know. No, Zion done as in done with the Pelicans. I don't know if they'll ultimately bring Murray back. I wouldn't be shocked if he started the season on the team, but I think they're going to explore every avenue to move on from Murray. I really do. Damn, the Hornets beat the Knicks. Hornets beat the piss out of the Knicks. Maybe the Knicks rested everybody because they got their seeding locked up. Man, that's gonna be a weird playoffs, dog. It really is about to be a weird postseason. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm covering the Celtics. I'm gonna be doing the Magic play-in game, so y'all be sure to holler me with that. B. Thomas gives Zion a stretch foul. Hey, again, if you go with that iteration of the Karl Anthony Towns trade, that would make a lot of sense. Now, Karl Anthony Towns probably is another person that. But see, the thing about Cat that makes Cat like a really good option is that he can play next to a center. Like, he can play next to Mitchell Robinson. He can play next to Rudy Gobert. He can play next to good defensive centers. So if you had Cat and Eve on the court at the same time, it wouldn't look bad because Cat is a big motherfucker. So it wouldn't look bad. But if you had like Cat as your de facto center for long stretches at a time, defensively you might have some trouble. Especially since the Pelicans' perimeter defense has been bad. Honestly, on the perimeter, I would say Zion has probably been a top 3 perimeter defender for the Pelicans this season, and that says a lot. Like, he was solid on the perimeter, especially like as the year closed. But that goes to show you how like bleak the prospects are along the perimeter. Zion needs to score at least 27 points and 4 assists a game for us to even be in playing contention. He needs to score that just because he can, to be honest. Like, nigga, what's up? Like, you need to get to like 25, 27 points. Even if you're going to take 17, 18 shots a game, come on, son. Like, it's easily, he can easily do that. It's like, come on, man. What's happening here? He said the end is here. Yo, it's over, man. 1 minute, 14 seconds left and the Pelicans season is over. We did it. We made it to the end of the season, dog. They didn't believe we could do it. We did it. They did it. Shout out to Young Dolph. They don't want you to win. They don't want you to ball. We did it. See, I can see us sending Zion to New York instead of them teaming up. See, to me, and that would be like the weirdest shit ever too. Kind of like, this don't work for no party involved. Frozen Keys say wave Zion. That's not really an option, Frozen Keys. Yeah, it feel like we just finished a prison bid. It do, don't it? It feel like we was on a level 4 yard. It feel like we was in prison for something we ain't even do. Like we was innocent in prison. That make the shit even worse. Like, damn, I ain't even pop, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm in this bitch. Damn, Derek. Come on, Derek. Go up. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay. So, Derek finished, what, 20? He got, like, what, 27 and 21 or something like that? Shout out to the young boy. See, Breeze say, Chaz, you made the playoffs for us. Good season. Appreciate you, dog. I appreciate everybody locking in with me, dog. No pun intended. Appreciate everybody locking in with me this season. It's been fun. It don't stop here, though. Don't stop here. We're going to be covering the off season, covering the postseason, covering some other avenues for a couple other teams as well. Oh, shout out to my dog Elvin, man. Shout out to Elvin. Say shout out to you, Leem. Shout out to Leem. Leem say shout out to you, Elvin, the Boot Crew guys, and most other Pelican content creators for sticking it through this season. Because this was rough. It was. Whoa, Hoffa, what's the deal, homie? This was a rough season. Frozen, he been finessing y'all. A non-guaranteed will set it straight. That most of that contract is guaranteed now, Frozen, because he played the X amount of games. Chaz, yo, shout out to Pelicans Nola, homie. Squalo, appreciate you, big dog. Don Giller said we finally done with Willie Green. Man, I hope so, dog. I hope so. Cause again, if they like, nah, we like what we saw for Borrego, they got their identity. But no, you know what's the thing, bro? The thing that was not bothering me, but the thing that again, people can say a motherfucker pessimistic. People can say whatever. When Borrego first took over, what was I saying? I was like, this team looks exactly the same to me. I kept saying it. Like, the team don't look no better. They look exactly the same to me. Kept saying it. And sometimes you're not right. Sometimes you're not wrong. Sometimes you're just early. And this motherfucker was terrible. Yeah, we went from worse to worse. We went from god awful to this is terrible. Like, ain't this a bitch? Let me see. Most haters say Saints rebuild fast. Can Mickey Mouse Loomis learn to stay out of more business? But see, that's the thing too. The Saints ain't even win yet. The Saints still got Elvin. We don't know what's gonna happen with Olave just yet. We don't know what's gonna happen with Cam. Saints probably should have. I ain't gonna lie. Saints probably should have moved on from some of them name brand players a couple years ago. I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all think they should bring Marshall and Lattimore back? Squallow said, enjoy chatting with the knowledgeable fans. Oh, I appreciate you, Squallow. Likewise, fam. Don Gibson, you did good, fam. He went crazy with Grubb, couldn't take it. Oh, yeah, old Mr. Eggman. Yeah, Eggman. He just, I don't know. Everything he touched turned to shit. Y'all know the mush? Like, everything he touched turned to mush. Look, everybody saying, no, don't bring back Lattimore. Say, appreciate, H. Bizzle, appreciate your homie. Say, appreciate the season chats for showing up, even how trash the season been. Yo, I appreciate you as well, fam. I ain't gonna lie, dog. I didn't know how it was gonna go, son. I didn't know how it was gonna go. He said, Dr. Robotnik. Said, I didn't know how I was gonna go doing these live games. I didn't know if people was gonna be into it, but I'm glad that people kind of enjoyed the watch-alongs via the live games, man. I'm gonna try to see if I can do something with Playback for next season. Y'all know Playback is, I think Playback is with Disney now. Playback got bought out. I think they with Disney now. I'm gonna try to see if I can do something with Playback next season. That way, we got multiple platforms we can do this. Say, Chad, was this the worst game? Chad, what's the worst game you saw? The worst game I saw this season? Man, the worst game I saw. Oh, that's fucking easy. Bruh, the worst game I saw this season. And this is when I knew it was time for me to just go ahead. I'll give you an exclusive. Fuck it. I'm going to give y'all an exclusive right now. I'll give you an exclusive right now. Shout out to all the members. I hope the members don't be mad. This is an exclusive right here. Because no, the members already know about this. This is the exclusive. All right. It was right before New Year's. I think it was right before New Year's, right? And I was telling Elvin, I was just telling everybody, the Pelicans need to win at least 10 games going into 2026. They was at 8. I think they was at 8, if I'm not mistaken. I think they was at 8. They missed 17 free throws, lost to the Suns. They lost to the Suns the following game, and they played the Chicago Bulls. No, they might have been at 9. They might have been at 9 wins. They played the Chicago Bulls. Right, this right before New Year's. Nigga, the Chicago Bulls was sitting. How was the game, Chaz? Bree, it was something. It was something. Derek got a 2020 game. Jeremiah Fairs got 2020. And Joe Ingles looked like it was. Joe Ingles got a near fucking triple double. It was incredible. So, like, this is the wildest shit ever. So, they play the Bulls. So, they get the dog shit beat out them by the Bulls, son. The dog shit beat out them by the Bulls. Oh my God. The Bulls beat the shit out. And they was missing some people. This the Pelicans that just won like 5 games in a row. Then they, I think they had lost to Cleveland before the in-season tournament break, I think. And then they came back and lost to the Suns twice. Now they play the Bulls. I just know that they about to beat the Bulls. Man, Trey had like one of the worst games of the year. Zion was kind of like, eh. It was just a terrible game, son. Terrible fucking game. Terrible game. After the game, we was in a group chat. I'm like, bro, this man gotta be the worst coach in the fucking NBA. This Borrego has to be the worst coach in the NBA. This is what I'm saying. And somebody said, I don't say who, somebody said, I mean, I don't really know what he's supposed to do with this roster. I'm like, he just won 5 games in a row. The Bulls not even playing nobody, and they beating the fucking dog shit out of us. I was like, oh yeah, that's it for me. That's it for me. I gotta bow out gracefully. It's time for me. Yeah, I gotta go solo. I can't do this no more. I can't do this no more. It's 16 seconds left. See, look, this nigga trying to soak up every fucking second of head coaching experience he can get. Every second. Nigga, the game is over. Shout out to Derek for that 30 piece. Shout out to Derek Queen for that motherfucking 30-20. But yeah, bro, after I saw that, I said, it's over. It's over, son. Like, we went from, look, with Willie Green, it was like no moral victories. And then, once we got Borrego, it was straight up all moral victories, no chaser. No, all moral victories, no chaser. Son, it was like, y'all remember when Michael Jackson was on tour with Marlon, and Marlon was doing that little dance that, and everybody was like, yeah, this when Michael knew it was time. It was over. Jackson 5 is done. Oh, nice up and under right there by Fear. This right. That's how I was like, yeah, son. I can't keep defending Borrego, dog. I can't keep doing this in good consciousness. I can't. I feel like I'm selling drugs to my community. Like I can't keep doing this. Like, look at you. You're poisoning your own people, Nino Brown. Like, I can't do this. I couldn't do it. So, yeah, man. Shout out to everybody. It's the end of the season. We made it. Hopefully, James Borrego is fired tomorrow. He on that midnight train to Georgia. And, since we didn't get to play it much this season, fuck it. Let's do it, bro. We celebrating ourselves. We celebrating ourselves. Man, I love this song. I ain't think I ever get a chance to hear it again. But shout out to everybody in the building. Oh, he said your husband cause I'm laughing when you play that. Shout out to Jarrell Charles. Shout out to everybody, man, in the building. Hopefully we get some good news tomorrow and Tuesday. I don't know. And shout out to Jeremiah Fitz for playing 82 games. Shout out to Jeremiah Fitz playing 82 games. Shout out to Louisiana Gal for the stat. Derek Queen played 81. I don't even remember the game he missed, but shout out to Derek Queen. Did he miss the first game of the season? Shout out to Derek Queen for playing 81 game. Much love and respect to him. Fears the last 3 games combined had 112 points. Shout out to the Rook. You know what I'm saying? Keeping their foot on the gas, taking advantage of the opportunity. Micah Peavy, 21 points. Game before against Utah, he had a nice game as well. Michael Peavy doing this thing, man. I hope that easy. I hope that makes it easier for them to make some decisions as it pertains to Herb Jones. But shout out to everybody in the building, man. Make sure you hit the like button, man. It's been an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege rocking with y'all all season. We're going to keep this pushing during the postseason. We're going to keep this pushing during the WWE season. Like, WWE don't really have seasons, but WWE, other sports, we're going to try to get some guests on the show as well. Got a special guest. We're supposed to do this Magic play-in game. So please be on the lookout for that. Shout out to my sister P. Fowler. P. Fowler said, Chaz, our team should be in the Warrior spot because they aren't going anywhere. It sucks. Right. Again, you have... Did the Pelicans ever lead in the fourth quarter tonight? Did the Pelicans ever lead in the fourth quarter tonight? Hold on, let me look. Because if the Pelicans led in the fourth quarter tonight, that would be 22 games. Did we ever lead in the fourth quarter tonight? Let me look and see. Did we ever lead? I don't think we did. No, we didn't, right? Okay. So, again, to my sis P. Fowler's point, the Pelicans have 21 games where they lost the lead in the fourth quarter. 21 games. Now, we go to the standings. If the Pelicans had just won, let's say, 12 of those games, right? Let's say they won 11. If they won 11 of those games, they're tied with Golden State, right? Tied with Golden State. If they won 12 of those games, then they would be the 10th seed, facing the Clippers, if I'm not mistaken, who they always play well against. So, I think they'll be playing the Clippers, right? Let me look at the tournament. Yeah, they'll be playing the Clippers, who they always play well against. Like, it's just some goofy shit, bro. It's some goofy shit. Like this is a play-in team. It's better say you think Oba going to defeat Brock. I think they're gonna do it. I think they'll give him the push. I think Brock okay with dropping to Oba, giving him the push. I think so. Interesting, ain't no belts involved, but I think so. Bron said this season's all Gale fault, keeping Willie to start it. I think hiring Joe so late, letting and keeping Willie compounded is just terrible. Because if you keeping Willie, now you got to keep Borrego too. Because it's like, well, fuck, who gonna want to come and be an interim? Like, I gotta, if I can't go get a real head coach, I gotta just run it back with everybody with familiarity, and that just sunk the ship, in my opinion. Say, play the joint one more time. I'll play the joint one more time, and then we get out of here, man. Again, shout out to everybody in the building. We made it! Shit, we might be going live. We're gonna go live whenever the James Borrego news come out. King Ramsey, what's the deal? We made it! We made it! I disagree, B. Thomas. I don't think it would be that hard to get a coach without a first round pick. Because if your pick was like pick 19, that wouldn't really incentivize a coach to come here. I think people are gonna see Fears and see Queen, and they'll probably be intrigued. I don't think that'll hurt too much, to be honest. This is a funny ass. Look, I stopped right here. This is funny as hell to stop right here on that image. Matter of fact, let me zoom in. But yeah, if we're gonna try to do. Hopefully, James. We get the news about James tomorrow. We'll probably most likely get it that Tuesday at the earliest, though, to be honest, because that's when Joe Dumars is gonna talk. He probably gonna say, "Oh well, we looking at everything. We haven't made any decisions yet." That's probably what's gonna end up happening. But We're gonna go live when we get that news, man. And again, shout out to all y'all, man. I hope y'all had a great weekend. It's been an honor talking to y'all. I'm your host with the most, Cheddar Chaz. If this is your first time, learning who I am, I appreciate you for sticking around and showing your support. It's been an honor to talk to y'all, getting to know some of y'all, man. To the members, we still gonna be doing our thing. And to everybody else, man, it's been a pleasure. It really has. Say James Keycard already they changed all this nigga passwords. Like, yeah, you can't come in here, bro. You're a +1 now. Swallow said, yeah, Fields and DQ with Lura head coach. Yeah, I mean, I think people will look at that roster and say, man, he did that with y'all. They was trash because of y'all. I can fix this. Like, because, ego is going to be involved. And it's only so many jobs in the NBA, though. It's only so many jobs. Can't have no low self-esteem like some of the people who cover the Pels. They're like, look at us, we're ugly. No one's going to want us. It's like, there's somebody for everybody. There's somebody for everybody. But that's been today's show. Again, much love to y'all, man. Much respect. I'm going to catch y'all on the other side.